gentlemen, and all people from all ages and places of this world, this is GymACT Live, the gymnastics competition between Northern Illinois University and the Gymnastics at UIC competitive college team. Welcome. This is GymACT, as I said, and we are broadcasting, webcasting live. I am Breeze Olson from Santa Cruz, California. I'm joined here by a multitude of people getting ready for this competition to start. We have the teams all lined up and ready to go. So I'll just do a quick little introduction of what we're doing today, and we'll move on with the competition. GymACT presents this virtual Stars Gymnastics production by Men's College Gymnastics YouTube channel. This is the first head-to-head virtual meet between these two great GymACT Illinois collegiate teams, Northern Illinois University and Gymnastics at UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago. With us today, the quote-unquote host team. Of course, this is all done virtually, but we have to choose one as the host, and it's going to be NIU. From St. Charles in Illinois, I am going to call my friend Mr. Josh Levin. He is the head coach for the NIU team, and he's being assisted today by Trent Jared. And Josh, are you there with us?
I am here, Breeze. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for being our gracious host today. And will you please go ahead and introduce your team, sir?
Absolutely. All right, Malcolm Moore. Zach Sipra. Cole Schreiber. Micah Puckett. Brian Turva. Dylan Bone. Joey DiRienzo. Joe Bajic. David Dortmund. Marty Franz.
I'm going through doing everybody. All right, I'm going to do you
and
guys.
Ethan Meister.
Going through. I'm going to switch back. Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much there, Josh, for introducing your team and for having us be part of this experience with you guys. And here we go now across the city, over to Chicago in the City Club Gymnastics Academy. I have my friend Charlie Nelson, the head coach for UIC, and his assistant today, Satchel Hudson. Charlie, are you there with us?
I am, and I think you can hear me now live again.
Now I can hear you live again. It's all good.
I apologize for that. We're making sure that we weren't going to mess it up, and I messed it up. Proud to come to you from the city of Chicago for the 74th consecutive year of gymnastics at UIC. Here's our 2021 team. Billy Hollis. Stephen Forbes. Kelvin Stevens. Sam Montague. Tim Steruk. Eric Barn. Sam Norwood. Colin Schwartz. Matt Whittington. Nick Smiley. James Strevey. And Levi Bullock. Sorry.
That is fantastic. I love the enthusiasm. These guys are ready to party, ready to rock and roll gymnastics at its best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do my best here with the technicalities on my end to play the Star Spangled Banner. So if you are able to and can, please go ahead and rise for the respectfully listening of our anthem. And I would like to ask everyone else to mute themselves, please. Thank you very much. Now, athletes, please go ahead and make your way to your first competitive event. We are, one moment, as I am dealing with a little glitch here myself. Let's see what's going on. Aha. There we go. So athletes, you're going to go ahead and go to your first competitive event where you can do your 2-minute one touch. And we will go ahead and introduce here on our end the virtual team, our friends and family. And we are, of course, GymACT. And we are here to foster the growth of men's college gymnastics programs, strengthen and raise the level of our sport, and protect the relationships and integrity of collegiate gymnastics. While promoting the essence of the sport and its competitiveness, we provide ideas and tools to inspire the creation of new teams and support existing programs in their pursuit of higher standards. That is GymACT in a nutshell, here to support the teams that are already here and help create new ones. I have with me today on the score master side of things my digital brother, Mr. Robert Davis, who is the digital brains behind the virtual Stars Gymnastics operation. He created this scoring system from scratch. The website that you're watching right now is his creation. Of course, we are also webcasting through the technologies of YouTube, and which brings me to the next man in charge is Mr. John Lucas, production manager of this activity. He is in charge of the men's college gymnastics YouTube channel, and he's bringing all of these visuals to you live and in color. So thank you, John, for your time and energy here. And with us today, the esteemed judges from Chandler, Arizona. I have Mr. Peter Wigan. From Hillsboro, Oregon, I have Mr. Mike Cook. And a man that I know oh too well, so I'll say just the fact that he's from Broomfield, Colorado these days, Mr. John Portillo. John and I go back, way back to college times, college days. So we're going to talk the least amount as possible about our relationship because you never know what's going to come up. So, and I would like to now introduce to you. Oh, actually, let me just say this. Judges, thank you so much for being here with us today. So why don't you guys go ahead and go back to the Meet Management channel on Discord so that I can continue talking about you behind your backs. Thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Have fun. Good luck. So now we have our commentators for today. Joining me today here is Mr. Doug Kiso. Doug, are you there? Can I hear your voice now?
I'm here. I'm here, yes.
There we are. Just making sure that my microphone is on and yours too. And all the way from Amsterdam, talking about the UIC boys, Mr. James Martin.
Hey, Breeze. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, what a pleasure.
Excited to watch these guys today.
Yeah, indeed. So the way that this is going to work, this is a head-to-head competition. We're going to go through all 6 events. We're always going to start with the NIU boys since they're the host team. So Doug, you're going to have the first word on what we're seeing now about the routines, and we'll be here talking with you, probably over you most of the time because I interrupt people a lot. So my bad. Already apologizing in advance for that. So it looks like we are going to, now we're waiting for the judges to get settled with their scoring system. We're waiting for the athletes to be ready to go. I know that we have first, and you see on the Virtual Stars website, the order that you see on the events there is the order they're going to be competing today. So first on floor, we are going to have from NIU, Mr. Dylan Bond, and he's going to be performing as soon as the judges give him the go ahead. And they're on a separate channel talking to each other over there. So we'll be hearing the sound from the gym coming in from the camera there, camera A, where the athletes are ready to compete. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the competition. If you have comments, go ahead and we don't have the comment section set on the webpage of Virtual Stars, but if you go to the YouTube version of the video, you can always add comments there, and we'll be addressing those. If you have any questions or concerns or complaints, that's fine too. Let's go ahead and we'll avoid talking about those though. So,
all right, so first we have up is Dylan Bone.
Indeed. Dylan Bone going for NIU.
He's from McHenry, and he's a power tumbler. So apparently he's going to be attempting for his first time a double tuck. And there it is.
All right. That was
Okay.
exciting when someone puts a new skill in their routine and you perform it well.
So Dylan is known to be good at sticking his landings, and he does a lot of twisting and bounding type of moves since he's a power tumbler. He's a kinesiology major, and he's getting a minor in coaching. And he is a floor and vaulting specialist.
Let's go, Dylan. Let's finish up. Good routine. Dylan's doing a good job keeping things going. Flowing
So
through
clean
the
so
routine.
far.
Finishes strong with a double full and a stick. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is
and good routine for Dylan to start us off with a good clean routine.
With a sharp exclamation point, that stuck landing. We always call those sticks out. And if you are following along in the Virtual Stars website, if your screen is of wide enough resolution, you will see that there is a column for the stuck landing to be shown. And that is going to be what the judges will give out as a bonus landing. If they stick a dismount that is of C or higher value, then they get a step bonus. So moving right along to UIC on the floor exercise, Mr. Nick Smiley, he's ready to go. The judges are entering the scores. I can see it's coming through. So as soon as the judges are ready, they'll salute him virtually. We're using the technology of Zoom for the videos here, but we're also on the side with Discord for the sound. So they're in the background talking to themselves there and getting things going. So here goes Mr. Nick Smiley. Started with a strong first pass.
Great start for Nick. He's a very consistent floor guy usually.
It's always important. Floor exercise is a long routine. There's a lot of options for deductions. And we're trying to keep it as clean as they can. 2.5.
A little hop on the landing there, but not too bad.
Power tumble and twist. Good job. Combination sets. Of course, the combination passes, a lot of times when these guys are trying to do difficult enough passes, trying to maximize the efficiency of a routine, you do multiple bounding skills in one routine, in one pass, excuse me. That way they don't have to run back and forth as often.
It was tough luck for Nick there. He kind of overdid the front layout and wound up spiking the front half a little bit. Unfortunately, the rest of the routine's been pretty clean so far, so hopefully it won't be too much deduction in total. And Nick's going to be on 5 events today, so good start on floor here. Maybe not everything he was hoping for, but definitely a good way for him to kick off the day.
From NIU, Mr. Nick Smiley on the floor exercise with a great routine. Unfortunately, one fall in the middle there on his multiple bounding pass, but he recovered well from that and finished his routine strong. Moving right along on the floor exercise, up next we have from NIU, Mr. Colin Schwartz. Mike, Doug, I'm going to pass it on to you for a couple minutes here while I adjust my microphone.
All right, coming up for NIU, we have Colin Schwartz. He's an all-around.
Here we are. Am I back with you?
Yeah.
All right.
And Cole starts off with a double tuck, one step back, and turns into the corner. And he does some bounding work, some fronts. Cole is from Plainfield, Illinois, went to Oswego High School.
Now, Doug, are you from Illinois?
I grew up in DeKalb, Illinois, and I did live 10 years in Los Angeles, but yeah, pretty much my whole life has been here in Illinois. All right, pretty clean set so far. Up, little maybe hand that went out of bounds there.
I'm not sure what the point of turning around that way was there, but I'll get deducted for it.
Sometimes we just have our own little idiosyncrasies we got to go through, make sure that we get our brains right for the last pass.
Yeah.
So that was Mr. Colin Schwartz from NIU. And up next, on-floor exercise from UIC, Mr. Matt Whittington.
And Matt's going to be just a floor and vault guy today. Very good on both those events, though, and he can also swing a bit of high bar as well. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see that later in the season from him. Matt's starting off here with a nice big double back.
Nice and high.
Solid landing.
I like that frame of the door right there behind him. That makes it look good on camera.
Makes it real fun. Really nice. 1.5 to front half. That's a difficult bounding pass there, but he handles it well. Comes out with the stick. Coming back with a 2.5 and puts it up. Not bad at all. A little
floor
hot,
exercise. They're required to do 4 different kinds of elements where they're going flipping backwards, flipping forwards. They also have to do something that's a non-acrobatic skill. And you see them usually do some sort of press to handstand for that. And of course, they have 60 to 70 seconds to complete their exercise. You may or may not hear a bell in the background, and that'll be the warning bell. After 60 seconds, you get a warning bell so that we have another 10 seconds to finish the routine.
Let's see. Should be finishing it up here. Nice double full and a big stick.
Beautifully done. Strong landing on a dismount, of course, again, and you will probably see that stick flag going up again for Matt Whittington from UIC. Great job.
That was a nice, clean routine from Matt there. Definitely a good way to get back on track after a little bit of a rough start from Nick, but
yeah,
sets up well for the rest of the lineup here.
There you go. It's a team event. It's a long haul for all 6 events. We got 5 routines on every event, and we've got to make sure that we keep these guys, the momentum going as positively as possible. Moving back to the NIU at St. Charles, we have Mr. Micah Puckett.
And Micah is a freshman from Montgomery, Alabama. And his opening trick, or one of his tricks, is he's going to be doing a double front, a D move. And he is an all-around, except for pommel horse.
Oh, the
American all-arounder right there.
His major is he's wanting to be an X-ray technician.
Nice. That's something that gymnasts need a lot.
There's a nice little non-tumbling there from Micah. In the last routine, you just had a half pirouette, and here we had a C and a B skill for his non-tumbling. So that actually adds a lot of value without a lot of tumbling. And it looks like something happened to him there. So good thing he picked.
I did not see his double front. I think he's had some ankle problems. I
have it on good authority that he actually injured his Achilles a little bit just last night. So he was looking at possibly scratching floor, but he did his best and did a pretty good routine. Though that dismount was a slightly undefined body position there. We'll have to see what the judges did for that.
That's a good team player move right there, though, to stick it out when you said you're going to be on a lineup and pull through and put up a score, even if it's not your best thing ever. It's it's still a score. And within lineups, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, you talk to your teammates, you talk to your coaches, and you find out what's the best mathematically speaking. As long as it's a safe environment, then you go for it.
Yeah.
Now going back to UIC, this is Stephen Forbes.
Stephen Forbes,
City.
One of the 3 freshmen at UIC that we'll see today. I believe the only true freshman when it comes to his actual college years. Huge double back with a nice stick to start it off. That was fantastic. I believe this is his first meet. Nice little 1.5 to front tuck, little hop, but really clean routine so far. Back with a double full, really nice stick. This kid can really hand on these landings.
Yeah.
It's an elegant routine so far. Really, really good looking. Comes back with the front full. And it's a little bit hard to see here, but I can tell this guy's really clean overall. So this is a really good looking routine so far. back full, and that will go down into his non-tumbling.
A little breathing time on a split there. Stay as long as you can. They're required to go 2 seconds, but you'll see these guys holding as long as possible. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, I was a 5-second split guy. I always like to just hang out there for a while and really catch my breath before I got going again.
Just before the judge puts his pen back down on the paper to take the deduction, you go.
Right back out. I finished
Another
up in a nice
beautiful
soft back
routine.
layout. Yeah, it was a really nice, clean routine for Steven there. As a great way to start off his collegiate career as his first routine.
That's
So
right,
good
that's
for
right.
him. 1 for 1, 100% hit rate. I'll take that.
Right? See how long he can keep saying that he's been 100% in all his routines in college.
I only
So
know
you'll
one
see
guy who
the-
made it a whole year. That's Sam Norwood. We'll see him later.
Let's go, David.
Now back to
All right.
NIU at St. Charles in St. Charles. David Dortmund.
Now, David unfortunately has some wrist problems, but
Nice.
otherwise he's usually one of the top performers for NIU on almost every event. He's either last up or second to last up.
That
He
looked
can
like a
do a full
Tinsica right
in.
there, wasn't it? It wasn't kind of like a
Sure
round up or
was.
handspring? Yeah.
Hey, the Tinsica's a double full. I know he can connect out of that as well sometimes. So
And
Really
David
nice
is from
routine so
Bartlett,
far, though.
Illinois.
Now these two teams have a history together, don't they? Even though they were have always been well, long ago they were both NCAA teams, and as late as the '90s, NIU got dropped as early as the '90s, I should say, and then just a couple years ago, where UIC got dropped from an NCAA program as well. Now it's great to see these guys coming back together again in the same platform here with GymACT meets, and these teams are self-funded. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first plug for the evening. If you are on our Virtual Stars Gymnastics site, there is a donate button. We are all nonprofit. We are all self-funded, and these teams are struggling to stay afloat, just like everybody else in this time of the year and this time of life, really. But not affiliated with the university officially. They have to fundraise for every dime that they need for their uniforms, their grips, you name it. They got to pay from their own pockets. So if you have it in you, ability to go ahead and help us out financially, the funds that go in through to GymACT to keep these programs alive. And if you need, go ahead and write into their own websites and donate directly to them. I know they'll appreciate it. So going back to UIC, Mr. Levi Bolliot. I'm making that one up. I'm not sure how to say it last name.
You got it. Good start with Levi for double back there. Comes back with a 2.5. Another really nice, clean routine so far from UIC. This is something they've definitely struggled with in the past, just getting clean routines, good hits under their belt. But it looks like a good start so far, other than one slip up from Nick in the beginning.
I mean, it really is the name of the game. I mean, these guys, all they got to do is put 7 skills together in one routine, and their routine pretty much starts from a 12-0 start value. If they can't keep their deductions to a minimal, under 2 points, they're going to be scoring pretty well. And, you just keep adding the difficulty there. But, clean is the name of the game. Looks like UIC is doing a great job at staying under that two-point mark as often as possible. And that's exactly where you want to be on a floor exercise. Just like that. Beautiful landings.
Exactly. And nice way to finish up with a stick there. Should be a good score for Levi.
Yeah, never mind the rules, right? When it looks nice, when it looks elegant like that, that's what we want to see. We want to see these guys show beautiful gymnastics, and that's what we're seeing really from both teams right now. But UIC especially looking really nice and clean. I like that style of gymnastics. And we go to Malcolm Moore from NIU at St. Charles. Let's see what he's got to show us.
Okay, Malcolm he went to Hinsdale South High School in Darien, Illinois. That's where he's from. He's a junior on the team. And he can do a triple full, but I think today he's only going to do a 2.5.
Yeah, Malcolm's
He also can do a full and back, but I'm not sure he's going to do that today either.
It's always fun to virtual stalk these guys, and see what the teams are posting on their Instagram pages, and see these big skills that they're all trying out, and you see them often do it into a soft landing surface, and it's just fun to see those dreams come true in competition. But always you training your hardest skill, and you compete always like half a notch below that, so that you can be safe and be consistent. So we'll see what he pulls off this time around. This is Malcolm Moore on floor exercise for NIU. Triple full.
It starts off with that triple full. Real big skill to start with.
Oh, he's got power to give and take there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Layout to 1.5, bouncing off the floor.
Yeah, Malcolm's a really powerful tumbler overall. He is improved a lot with his cleanliness, and I'd say the last 2 years a lot too, which made him go from a good floor guy to a really great floor guy overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before he had a little more of that kind of bouncing off the floor power, and now he's channeled it a little bit better, I'd say.
Nice. Learning to keep it clean. Put his feet where it belongs on the landings. Yeah, it's one thing to be able to throw big skills, but to be able to do it, 4 or 5 passes in a row.
Good double back there.
6 pass, he comes back with a double back. Most guys are leading off with that, so that's a big pass to have there.
There he is, and that's a college stuck landing right there, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
As long as your feet don't move.
Nice routine from Malcolm.
Yeah. It was really good. A lot of power, and you can definitely see that he's working hard on those on the controlling the landings. He's working hard on his body positions, which is also another thing is that you might stick your landing, but if your body's super wobbly or you're flailing your arms around trying not to move, that is also a deduction. So we're going to try to avoid that, of course. And Malcolm did a good job at controlling his body there. Great work. And now moving right along back to the city gymnastics gym. For UIC, we have Sam Montague, Monty, for those of us who know him well. Since I don't, I'll let James talk about him.
Yeah, Sam's got probably a pretty big routine coming up here. He's a really fantastic floor guy. He's trained a lot of big skills like we were talking about with Malcolm, but I don't know if we'll see all of them. He was training a triple back up until last year, so this guy's got a lot of power in this floor routine. Starts off with a nice double Arabian there. I think that was the first D-value multiple flipping skill we've seen today, so that's a big pass. Comes back with, I think that was double full to half, and that was also our first time we've seen a connection bonus on floor. Comes back with 2.5, little hop on the landing there, but pretty good overall. This is a fun pass right here. It goes back layout to front 1.25, reverses direction. That's some old school tumbling right there.
That's the way we like to see it. A very elegant, showing off some virtuosity, showing some creativity in the floor routine. Floor is where the guys really get to excel and show what they got.
Really fun pass to watch. There's the Rudy down the side. Looks like he'll finish up here. See if he can nail the ending to this routine. Double full, little hop, a really nice routine overall.
Well done indeed. That is a beautiful last performance on the floor exercise for both NIU and UIC. These teams are looking good. They're looking sharp. And as we are finishing up the performance there for Sam Montague on floor, I'll just let you guys know how the protocol for the meet works is that the team who finished first, which is always going to be NIU, they've already moved on to pommel horse. They're getting the one touch in, and the guys are just kind of bump rotating their one touch. That way we don't have to wait the full 2-minute count. So as soon as the cameras are set in place and we have that the camera angles correct and matching as much as possible from one to the other, the judges will give them the go ahead and we'll start the routines on the next event. So just to bring up here that the scores are still showing up on the last one, so I'm not going to give you guys the full scores, but it was brought to me by the attention of one of our YouTube viewers, probably Jared's brother or somebody, that there is definitely connection between these teams. We were talking about the history and the fact that that our assistant coach for NIU, Mr. Trent Jarrett, he once competed for UIC, and he was in fact the team captain there. So I actually didn't know that. So I'm just learning little by little here myself. That's fantastic. So to see that there's not only rivalry, but also this connection, that the fibers of gymnastics are so strong and deep. We all have multiple levels of connection from one to the other, and that's fantastic. So the moving on with life and joining another team and helping that team, that program become the powerhouse that it is today. So thank you, Trent, for your contributions to both teams. That is fantastic. So real quick, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the results are being shown in real time by John Lucas there on the picture-in-picture. Appreciate that, John. And on the website for Virtual Stars Gymnastics, we have the team scores currently standing as such. On floor exercise with 56.3 points, Northern Illinois University, and for UIC, 60.7. A good start score for both of these teams. We'll see how that progresses throughout the meet. And again, just to reiterate that the UIC guys are looking nice and clean. They were putting together not too different of start values from NIU, but they definitely had the deductions that were a lot less on their routines, much cleaner. A couple of stuck landings there. In fact, we had one stuck landing for NIU and one stuck landing for UIC. We'll keep track of those as well for the coveted stuck masters of the universe for this meet. So, gentlemen, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I mean, we have we got the guys on Pommel Horse set. The judges are set. We got Cole Schreiber from NIU ready to rock and roll. So as soon as he gets the go ahead from the judges, we'll go ahead and take over.
Did we get the 2-minute touch?
So
Yeah, just wanted to.
No.
it may be that we had some misunderstanding there. That the coaches were waiting for us to take the 2-minute touch. So we're gonna let them take that now.
You know, back when we were NCAA teams back in the 1980s, we used to go against UIC probably 4 times a year with the Invitationals and the Midwest Open, and then we usually had a dual meet with them. So it seemed like, we competed against UIC quite a bit.
I'd say it's pretty nice, convenient. I don't know, just my last year when I was a senior, NIU was starting to get in on more meets, and I think we wound up competing against them maybe 3 times that year in different ways, just because it's close, so convenient. It, really lends itself to just loading up on meets against one another. And, as much as you're competing against each other, you're really more competing with each other. It's, it's more fun to know the guys on the other team and watch how their gymnastics progresses over the year as well.
And a little bit of a shout out to CJ is when I was actually graduated, but I was working, CJ let me come into the gym during the summers. They used to have practices, and I used to work out with the Pommel Horse guys. And so it was kind of fun getting to know some guys while I was actually not even competing anymore, but just kind of help them out a little bit. CJ, of course, is Clarence Johnson, the old coach for a long time.
Legendary UIC coach before Charlie.
The rules have definitely changed a lot since the 1980s. Let me just say that, when I look at the rule changes today, it's all about trying to figure out how to maximize your score with as many moves based on what the award book gives. And back in my day, pretty much everybody maxed out their routine at whatever was maxed, and then you had to find out how to get your ROV points, which is only 6/10. And
you guys were on the 10-0 system back then, right?
Correct.
Yes, we were.
So you got to 9.4 pretty easy, actually.
Right.
All right. Well, anyway, but then the extra 6/10 is where you had to try to make it up.
really separate yourself from the other.
All right,
gymnasts.
gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt you here because on pommel horse from NIU, we have Mr. Cole Schreiber, and he's going to start us off here. Pommel horse, always a nerve-wracking event. It's considered often the most difficult event for gymnastics, as we all who do it agree. It was actually one of my favorites, but no, it didn't make it any easier.
Now, Cole has, I'm not sure if he was able to get it in or not, but he does do a Tong Fei. I'm not sure he was able to get it in.
No, not quite.
But,
That was kind
no.
of a half Tong Fei-ish sort of a thing before the dismount
Yeah,
there, but not quite the full travel.
The crawl earlier and then the cure down, but it's a bit of a fight for that routine, but he stayed on, so I'd say not a bad performance for pommel horse at all. Definitely good to be the first guy up and just get a hit under your belt. Show everyone else how it's done.
That first position on a pommel horse is always so crucial for the team and for the momentum, and you try to establish a strong start for the whole rest of the group to follow up on. And sometimes fighting for your routine, even though you might be mathematically disadvantageous than just to come down, but that fight gives you the energy and the motivation for everyone else to follow up.
Yeah, I'd say.
And let's see what Billy Hollis from UIC has to do.
Yeah, Billy's a junior from Missouri. He and James Strevey and also Taylor Steyer, who's not competing anymore, are all from the same gym. Starts off a little A travel down, and Roth all the way under the horse. Picks up into circles here. Nice little Bailey.
Yeah, Billy's showing a lot of control. He's up and down
Right
a little
up
bit in his
that
circle, but he gets it
handstand.
done.
Wow. Good
Well
fight.
done.
Good fight there. Way to stay on and fight. He fought pretty clean, actually. You saw Cole had a few leg bends when he was fighting. Billy just had a lot of piking, so we'll see how the judges respond to that.
Right. Similar, style of fighting to stay on for dear life and making sure that he followed through from start to finish. That's number one goal of the horsemen, and they both accomplished that just right. Congratulations to both of these guys. Great job staying on a horse.
That's a really good way to start off.
We'll see what this now going back to NIU. Micah Puckett will take on his second event today. You saw Micah earlier on the floor.
I think Micah can do a Roth, and maybe Josh was saying he might do his handstand, and if he is able to get it in and pirouette and touch both ends of the horse, that would give him an E value dismount. But it's one of those moves that sometimes you get it, sometimes if you're a little off, you don't get it.
Those handstand turning dismounts are just a real hassle, honestly.
Well, I want to put a little historical context here. We talk about this Roth skill, and a little too much of a struggle there. So we're just gonna say, great job, great effort, but not quite. But Bill Roth, of course, American gymnast. Now, Doug, I think he's between the two of us in historically speaking, or was he your contemporary?
Okay, he will do another
Oh no, he was much later than me.
A little later, yeah. So he was earlier than me, so he's definitely between us. So Bill Roth, and you're going to see this athlete repeating his dismount because the judges were talking to one another, and of course, and they made a decision that the dismount was not given any credit at all. So in order to get a full value dismount, he was attempting it a second time, and
I don't know if he
unfortunately,
has it on that one.
probably not going to get credit for that one again. So that when we talk about is it worth it or is it not to go back on the horse and try a second skill. We're going to say that time for Micah, unfortunately, he probably should have just taken the hit on the first dismount.
Yeah, or at least he should have taken his 30 and covered a little bit there. Credit on the second? Okay, so yeah, he does get credit for that second dismount, which is a good saving grace there, even if it wasn't the prettiest thing.
A little bit more of a shoulder stand than a handstand, but
yeah. There are definitely criterias that discern one dismount from another to whether or not they get credit for it, and evidently the judges felt like he didn't quite go over the limits of losing complete credit for that particular skill. But if you're on YouTube and watching this, what do you think? Was that a full value dismount or not? I'd give it to him. Why not? Worked hard. He gets it.
Here we got Eric Barnes, senior from Illinois. Starts off nice little A travel, and Stockley's back up. Really nice. Eric's circles improved tremendously. He was a high school gymnast, and he came to UIC with, a little bit sloppy, but a lot of potential, and he's really turning that potential into some great gymnastics now. And it looks like he's finishing up here. Spindles down, single, double, triple. Oh, double rushing off. Nice finish for Eric there. That was a real clean routine for him.
Tricky to find out where it started, where the last skill ended, and where the Russians started. But that was definitely 2 off.
Yeah, it's 2 and off. Yeah, it's I think that's probably 2 hours of every judge's course is just how to count a Russian, because the new rule about reaching under, reaching over, where does it start? Bit of a hassle, but that one's a double.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So another great set for UIC.
Another good set for Eric, and it comes back only 2.2 off in deduction, which is a really, really low number for pommel horse, I would say.
All right, now we have Joey DiRienzio. He's a pommel horse specialist from Wheaton, and he's a marketing major. And he does Magyar, travel across, Svoboda back. Ooh. A little trouble on finishing that. Hopefully he got credit for that.
I don't know if he did, because he has to do a full circle out now.
Yeah. He did. Good.
Did you get credit?
Come on, Joey.
One interpretation of that rule.
I believe half of a backflip counts as extra skill after the Savate.
I think Steven Edorosic wants to take that up with you after his Winter Cup performance, but he pulled the same thing on a Savado.
Joey finishing strong after that fall. Pulls it together for NIU. Joey DiRienzio.
Okay. He looks a little hurt. He does have a bad shoulder. Hopefully he didn't re-injure it. But he used to be an all-rounder, but he's had a shoulder injury, which has been limiting him to the pommel horse.
Yeah, and pommel horse is one of those places where we get it's the last event to get new mats is pommel horse. So those are probably the mats that knock the wind out of you if you fall just in the right spot. So Joey, way to go and finishing strong that routine right there.
His rotator cuff will not feel good tonight.
Oh, it will not. Especially now. Now that we just passed the Winter Cup break, we're going to be seeing those 5 up 5 count instead of 6 up 5 count. So getting back up and finishing your routine is more important than ever. Because if you're dropping one score anyways and you're hurting, sometimes it makes sense to just be done. But now you really don't have that option anymore.
Yeah.
In the second half of the season.
And real quick, while we're waiting for the next athlete to start, that's going to be James Strivey from UIC. 5 up 5 count basically means that you have 5 athletes competing, and every one of their counts will count. Up to the last week, in fact, the teams could compete 6 athletes, and the worst score would get dropped. Now you don't get that leisurely anymore.
Strivey starts out with a nice Tong Fei, coming back with the Savado here.
Nice and
finishes it without a backflip, so that's a good way to do that.
There you go.
Nice little scissor sequence here. Could be a little higher on those scissors. And falls out of the more there.
Slightly off on the shoulders. Now, you've been staring at the screen too much in Zoom every day of your life. When you look at a mirror and you think, wow, that's a beautiful flat screen TV they got behind the pommel horse there.
That sure is.
I was like, that's in real time showing the images. It's amazing how quickly the latency on that screen is amazing.
So he did get credit on that more, which is nice. So he'll pick up from after that, and I think he's just got the travel and the dismount left at this point.
You see Charlie there, the head coach, listening in and giving them a go ahead.
Goes down with the Kroll right before his dismount. Single Russian and off. And a good way to finish up there. Not bad after that fall.
There you go.
That was only our second fall from the UIC guys. So far, so good for them on their consistency overall.
All right, Zach Cipra is coming up. He's an all-arounder but does not work floor. And he's from Downers Grove, and he's actually graduated. And he's going on for his MBA right now at NIU.
I'm gonna start calling that well-rounder instead of all-arounder. I mean, he doesn't do one event. I mean, he don't get all-around status for that. He's well-rounded
Well,
individual.
he was about to step in for Micah Puckett.
That's true.
Today.
That's true. He would have
So
been.
that would have. Yeah.
He trains floor, but he'd rather not do it if he can help it.
He's actually he's not a bad floor worker either. He's pretty good on floor when he needs to be.
He does a Magyar travel in flares.
Nice.
Yeah, that upgrades at 1/10 to an E value, so that's probably the biggest horse skill we'll see today.
Well, and David
It
Dortmund
makes it
has
incredibly
an
more, so much harder.
you're right.
for an E move, I think, if he gets it in today.
Yeah.
And he's going up for his handstand and a
There
pirouette.
it is.
Nice pirouette dismount there.
All right.
Another one,
He's
another one of
happy
those
with it.
routines that I'm leaning side to side in my chair, almost falling off every time he leans and almost falls off the horse. But he stayed on. Attaboy.
That's a good
Way to
fight.
go,
It's a
Zach.
good fight.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. Back in my days when they started doing handstands on pommel horse, and I was a pommel horse specialist, and I never had to get upside down in my life until basically my senior year in college, and I had to learn how to do a handstand. And the rest of the gym was always laughing and saying, "Look out, pommel horse man, upside down."
Dangerous times. And here we have Tim Staruk on pommel horse from UIC. We'll see if
Tim's
he goes
a
upside
pretty-
down a couple times.
Pretty long guy here. He's got nice big flares on this. Also flared
Wow.
Magyar here. See that kind of two different styles. Zach doing it with a shorter leg, shorter body, and Tim really long and lanky, kind of Nemov style.
Well done.
And a
Well
really nice
done.
finish to that routine.
And just because you see the different body types and how much slower Tim seems to be circling, and it just feels like he's not going to stay on. There's no way, he's circling way too slow. But that's just his biomechanics, and he keeps it on there and keeps circling his shoulders at the right time in the right places. And a beautiful routine from start to finish for Tim Staruk from UIC. That was awesome. And back to NIU for the NIU team. We have Mr. David Dortmund.
And David, usually this is like his best event, but unfortunately he's got a bad wrist. So a lot of his E-skill moves that he can do, he can't really do today because of his wrist problems.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I just can't throw my E moves today because my wrists are hurting.
Yeah. It's unfortunate though, because he's a really fantastic pommel guy when he's healthy. I've seen him at full capacity, and he can really swing. I think we'll get to see some of that today, but maybe not everything. You can tell though, he's just so clean through these circles. Really nice extension. Comes down with a D flop though, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
Another D with the Russian and the Stockley flops. That's really nice.
Showing once again that on pommel horse,
E flop today. And
on
he
pommel horse, you
can-
just have to have one circle. You learn one good
two,
circle and just do it everywhere else.
3,
Oh, nice
30%.
triple Russian off.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
And he
And he
did
is
go into it
Happy with
forward
that.
instead of the rearward way, so he could
Yeah, he didn't tuck under. Yeah, he should be getting a full triple Russian for that one.
Oh, little cameo there by Trent Jarrett, former UIC
Trent.
athlete.
I got him confused. I'm looking around. But Trent was, he graduated the year before I joined UIC, so I got to meet him when I was being recruited there. And yeah, he was the captain at the time. Yeah, he showed me around the gym and everything. He was a really fantastic rings guy back in the day. You can tell he was clearly a rings guy, but he dabbled in other events too. He's kind of a multi-purpose man for UIC when they were running a little thin on lineups. We got Colin Schwartz. He's a pommel guy through and through. Let's see what he has for us today. Should be a pretty big routine. Starts the scissor full up. And we'll see probably some of those same flops that David did. Or maybe not. Nice little end-to-end hop there. That's a really tough travel, very unique skill.
It's got those long
1, 2,
monkey arms.
5
Reach across.
Magyar. There we go. And then he's coming into his Russian and off.
Well
Good
done.
clean step for Colin. He pulled two flops and some other on pommel stuff, but it was a clean, smart routine, well hit. Definitely something to be happy with.
Yeah, yeah, and we keep talking about these flop sequences that you keep mentioning. Just wanted to say a flop basically is when you put 3 skills in a row, roughly speaking, on the pommel. So if you're doing a bunch of circles on a single pommel, which is only an inch and a quarter wide, and you see those guys putting 6, 7, 8, 9 hand placements on one pommel at the same time in a row in succession, that be considered a flop sequence. And of course, the more you do on a pommel, the more value you will get. And these are extremely difficult. A lot of times you'll see the guys in the middle of the sequence take a step down and step back up again. Sometimes that breaks the sequence up and you get no credit at all. So all that work for nothing. But these guys are actually doing a great job staying on a pommel and showing some great leather works, a lot of control, a lot of extension on their circles. I'm really, really happy to see how good these pommel horse routines were looking. These guys are fighting for their teeth and nails to stay on the horse, and and showing some beautiful elements. So congratulations to both teams there. And it looks like we got all of our scores in on pommel horse. So I'm going to step right and continue here with my rant and tell people that we do have 2 events in the books. Later. So
Sorry about that.
That's all good. It's all good.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Trent Jarrett, Josh told me that he caught Trent in the gym the other day doing a Maltese to a cross. So apparently Trent is still working out a little bit.
I guess he still got it. I mean, for him, that stuff was pretty natural. I think he actually once attempted the world record longest cross. I don't know if he ever actually made it, but he got a good, I think, 25 seconds or so on it. So he's kind of a beast with those ring positions.
Little anecdote from the NorCal United team. We had for the 30-second back tuck workout that we did way back when we did the challenge for the how many back tucks can you do in 30 seconds. One of our athletes, Eric, held across the whole time while we were doing our back tucks, and he just held it there for the whole time. It was pretty spectacular. So anyways, the current standings for these 2 teams are right now with 109.1 Northern Illinois University, and after 2 events, floor and pommel horse, UIC has 115.2. And I'm looking at the, of course, we're still at the 1 stuck landing for each of the teams because pommel horse doesn't actually get a stuck value. So that's too easy. And if you miss your landing on pommel horse, I think it should be a point off. But, that's just me.
We're lucky we didn't see any of the UIC guys step, because if they did, they'd have to be doing push-ups next to the horse.
Yeah, in our team, we got to do the figure 8 of shame.
Figure 8,
go around underneath that. I saw the guys from UW do that one time. I was like, we're so adopting that one. So yeah, each team has their own.
Penn State does the same thing, and was it 2 years ago when Steven Adrosic won?
Colin Schwartz from NIU on rings.
All right,
I like it when the meat goes so fast that we can't talk about other stuff.
I'm really moving here. It's a good pace.
Cole does some nice plunges.
Kip to L, trying to get that swing to strength element group out of the way. Element groups, there are 4 on every event. On rings, you will have the static hold. You have a swing to static hold. You have the swinging element right here. You see the giant to handstand. And of course, the dismount. So he's got 3 out of 4 already taken care of. All he's got to do is land on his feet. There it was, Mr. Cole Schreiber from NIU with a great ring set for starter.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start for their rings lineup. It's a nice, clean hit. Got all the element groups, which is harder than you would think on rings because of that swing to strength. It's pretty tough, I'd say, for some people to get one in there. But Kip to L is a nice alternative for it.
Yep.
We'll see a pretty unique one with Nick Smiley. He does a front up rise to a V set. It's a pretty unique swing to strength, I'd say. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do it. Definitely not as well as he does it.
I was gonna say I've seen guys attempt it, but that's a tough one. Hopefully we'll pull it through today, and we can see what it looks like. So we are going to go to the UIC gym over at the City Gymnastics. in Chicago, right? And Billy Hollis from UIC. He's just getting ready, trying to get some of the communication there between the judges and the coaches, making sure that they got the visuals and the sounds all set. Of course, there's a lot of technology in the background here. We're trying to keep things as smooth as possible for the athletes, making the routines go, you know, as safely as possible, trying to mimic the real life competition. But anytime there's a little glitch on, for example, right now I think we have a little lineup change that was done last minute that is not showing on the system, and it takes a little bit of communication back and forth, just like you know everything in the world with the Zoom meetings and whatnot. Everything takes a little longer to take care of. Here goes Billy Hollis from UIC.
Yeah, Billy Hollis led off pommel horse. You guys saw, and now he'll lead off rings again. He's a really good, consistent guy on both of those events, so it's a smart play to put him up first, I'd say. Starts off here, back up rise to straddle planche. Nice long hold on that.
Refreshing to see a nice back up rise straddle planche.
Nice into that Yamawaki sequence. Hits those really clean. That was something he struggled with for a long time, but he's got him under his belt now. Little A press off the handstand there. That's the bent arm, bent body press. Builds his giant requirement there with a back giant. And double tuck. And nice stuck landing for Billy.
And that's why they put him on first in the lineup. That's a nice, clean routine. Stuck landing. Gets emotional at the end there. That's exactly what you want. You want to get your teammates pumped up and ready for the next guy to go. Fantastic job. Way to go, Billy.
Not the hardest routine we'll see today from the UIC ring guys, but definitely the most consistent overall. I think you could just play any of his other ring videos and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between two of those routines. I think he had one streak where I think he got the same score like 4 weekends in a row. Same routine, same judging.
That's awesome. That's exactly what you want on that first guy on any event. You want to make sure that we have the routines that are consistent, and I was every now and again on a couple of events anyways, I was consistently one of the first guys up, because that's what you want. You just want someone who's got that midland sort of a start value that's going to be, you almost guarantee that's going to be in your team score, and make sure that the guy can hit without taking too much risk, and again, create the momentum in the right direction for the team to start at a good place and go up from there. So just another one of those protocol things that happens in the virtual competition world is that we had a glitch that happened either on a network or on the camera, that the judges were not able to see a portion of the routine as clearly as they would like to. So in order to be able to provide the proper scores, we're going to go to the backup video for the last routine that we just saw, and you'll see right here live and in color how that process goes. You see Charlie's going to be talking to the judges there, and they're going to do a little camera to camera action, if you will, where they have our first line of defense is in the backup video is we'll take every team is recording the routines not only through the camera that they're using in Zoom, but also in a separate device that's not connected to the internet. So that is the safest place possible to be recording it, right? And they're going to take that device and literally face from the video from that camera to the Zoom camera, and transfer the video information that way to the judges. So it's a bit of a hack, but it works. It works really well. It's actually faster than trying to submit the video and deal with emails and whatnot and figure things out. So this will be, you'll see here how it works. But while we wait for that to happen, let me actually go ahead and have a quick conversation with James, because you are one of my favorite GymACT athletes of the last couple of years. I watched you compete on your senior year there for a UIC, and it was a great experience for me to watch you do your gymnastics, and then a great moment of pride for me to see someone who, in my opinion, well deserved and ended up winning the coveted N2 award. So that's what I want to ask you about. So tell folks a little bit about what the N2 award is, and and then tell me how it feels to be the second of two recipients to that.
Yeah, I think I'm the second after Nathan. So we actually I have my pin right here, my N2 pin, or with pride. But yeah, it's people have called the Heisman the N2 of collegiate football. It's kind of awarded to someone who embodies what GymACT is all about, and both in gymnastics competition as well as in academics and team structure. So it was a real honor to win that award and kind of get recognized for the work that I had been doing for the to make the transition, I guess, from the NCAA program to a GymACT program, which it seemed pretty seamless, and that's what we were really hoping for. But there was a lot of work that went into that, and it was a really nice honor to be to kind of be recognized at the end of my career to have something to show at the end, which is really nice. And it was a little bit different experience than we were expecting. We thought we were going to be in Arizona, but instead I was in my kitchen.
Man, I want to hear more about that in a second, but we're actually going to move through with NIU back on rings. We have Mr. Brian Turva.
Come on, Brian.
All right, Brian is a ring specialist. He's a freshman. He's from Burbank, Illinois, and his major is history. And Josh has mentioned that he is really clean. He might not have the big tricks or anything, but seems to score decently because he knows how to keep it clean.
This looks like a nice, smart, clean routine so far with the back lever and then the kip to L and a back up rise L. But catching those positions really nicely, which I'd say is actually pretty difficult with the L's. Yeah, short and sweet, but it gets the job done, I think. He's missing that swing to handstand element, though, so that's going to cost him a 3/10 neutral deduction.
Yeah, that's the one area he is lacking.
Yeah.
No handstand.
It's tough, though, but I think it's a smart play because handstands, I feel like the deductions add up real quick. I don't know, in my experience, it was always better for me to not do a handstand and just take the 3/10 neutral. Or even when I was younger in JO, we had the swing to handstand element group, and I would just skip it entirely and score a point better or something. But I wasn't that good at rings, so not really my thing.
One of those great things about the sport of gymnastics is that different athletes will capitalize on their own strengths, and the rules allow for flexibility. And sometimes, even though you're leaving out an important portion of what would give you a higher score, you can still make up for it in other aspects of your routine, and make up for that, and just do the things that you're good at and show the most beautiful routine and keep it clean. And if you lose a point because you don't have an element group or whatever it is, it's okay because you made up for it on the other side of it. So if you're tall and lanky, you do some beautiful extended circles or scissor work. If you're short and stocky, you just powerhouse those circles as quickly as possible and do it so fast that judges don't see the deductions. And on rings, you got the tall, lanky guys that can't quite get those giants up to the handstand, but they can do, more Yamawaki swings, or, I did Gozogis, which at the time we could repeat skills. So I threw my shoulders out every time, but I did 2 of them in one routine.
Yeah, I trained the Kazogi for a little bit, but that is torture on the shoulders. And I think the worst part was actually when they took out the stretched Yamawaki. That really ruined my rings career because took away an E right there that I've been training for so long. It wasn't pretty, but I could do it.
There you go. And that is really hard to do that skill without stopping in the middle. So nowadays, in fact, that's the thing. If you trying to do the Yamawaki skills, which is a double front on the rings, if you show support and the slightest little pause, that breaks the skill up into 2 different things, and you get no credit for any of them.
I was also facing some Region 6 judging, so it wasn't always the most highly regulated Yamawakis.
Hey, shout out to my friends at Region 6 doing the best they can. Thank you, guys. That was James talking about you, not me. That's why he's not abroad now. He's not even in the country anymore. They don't let him in.
No, they don't want me back there in Region 6.
They don't want you back.
It was a bit of a harsh awakening to go from JO judging though to college judging. It's a lot tighter. It's a lot stricter on the rules. Which is, it's tough. Your scores all drop a point even though you're doing the same exact routine one year to the next.
That's right. That's right. A lot of times you get, not only are the requirements a little more stringent going from the JO to the college level, which is practically the same rules as they are playing by at the Olympics, and then you also have the judges who are at the higher level of judging. So these are the judges that know, more clearly how to apply the rules. They know more clearly where to apply the deductions, and that's what goes on. So we're seeing now the analog to digital transfer of the routine that was glitched earlier, and I believe that was it was Billy's routine.
No, it's
Yeah, it might have been
Brian Turva here.
Brian's. That's right, Brian's routine from NIU. That the Zoom connection or the camera glitch. Who knows? There are so many places where the bottleneck can happen. So we have here the coach showing the camera to camera, and we'll see if that was good enough for the judges to check it out. I'm gonna have to
It's kind of funny to see this
point
process
out the fact
here
that
because,
we do encourage the coaches to have a tripod on both of those cameras, because then you can see a little bit more clearly. But they don't listen to me. So moving right along. Wait, I'm gonna go back to you, James, on that N2 award thing, because last year we didn't have a full season. We didn't get to national championships. So where normally the N2 award, the second of two would have been presented, but we had a little bit of a surprise for you, didn't we?
Yeah, we did an online ceremony and everything, which is a really fun experience. It was a little different, but kind of telling of the times that we were in. Oh, we're gonna move over here to Levi on rings.
Yep. We're gonna get little chapters of that story of the N2 award each time.
We get bits and pieces. So don't leave early.
That's right. The final chapter will be at the end of the meet.
Levi starts off with back up rise to straddle planche. A little short on the hold there, but we'll see what they do with it. Another A press here with his bent arm, bent body. And nice, really extended handstand for him. That's tough to do when you're tall like Levi is, but he's controlling it pretty well here.
There's the Yamalaki, 2 flips.
Ooh, misses the backup rise to L, but then repeats there. Nice and clean. Bails forward and finishes up with a front full, little hop on the dismount there, but not bad at all.
That was a really well executed front full. Sometimes you see those guys, the technique where you just kind of whip it around and it catches you by surprise every time, but he seemed to have a handle on how to actually get enough height and flipping action.
It was nice and floaty on the front full. I think a lot of the people that do it are just doing it because they don't know how to do another dismount, and you wind up with those kind of like herky-jerky front fulls where people get stuck in the air. But that was really nice, pretty front full.
Yeah, it was. And it was a well-controlled routine. He did have a couple of misses there, a couple of glitches, I'm going to call it, but he carried himself well. You can see that before the dismount, that nice forward roll that he does, extending the swing so that the timing of the cables is correct, minimizing the amount of swing, the pendular swings of the cables, and really showing that he had a mastery of the event throughout the routine. So well done, Levi.
Yeah, it was a really nice clean routine. I think it's fairly uncharacteristic for him to miss that backup rise, but otherwise a lot of really nice control on the routine overall. So comes back with only about 3 points off, so not too bad.
Yeah, definitely couldn't get away with that mistake. Make it look like it was on purpose. It did not work out so well.
No, not really.
So.
That's all right. My toes are going to be kind of.
So I'm curious. Here we go. Never mind. This is Micah.
Micah Puckett, right? From NIU. That's correct.
Okay. So Micah, once again, from Montgomery, Alabama. And he does have...
There's the kip to L.
We'll see if he does it. A piked Yamalaki.
There it is.
Okay.
Staying pretty solid in the middle of the rings there. Not a whole lot of swing. Controls the timing of the bail.
Oh.
Yeah, that
little check swing on the handstand there.
And double back. And did he stick it?
Nice stick. Oh, yeah. Looks like he stuck it.
Now, are they giving the stick bonus if you have to bring your feet together, even though you land
That's
'Cause I
that's a
noticed-
that's a great question. And actually the current rules for NCAA is that you actually, as long as your feet don't move and the dismount is of C or higher value, you will get the stick bonus. Now, if the gymnast simply slides or glides his heels together, that's actually not a deduction. But if he has to move his feet together, lift the foot up off the ground to bring his feet together, he will get the stick bonus, but then he will get a deduction for the step. So it's kind of like you get one back and then you lose one.
I was someone who always landed pretty wide on floor, and I definitely lost 2/10 there on the wide landings.
Yep, yep.
But they gave me the stick anyways. Got
Here's Nick
here
Smiley from
starting off
UIC.
with that really unique skill I was talking about earlier, the front uprise to a V-sit.
Oh, that's pretty.
Hits it
That's
really well.
pretty.
It's a little tough to see from this angle, but his feet are vertical there. He does that really, really well. Nice Yamawaki sequence there. Really nice clean lines from Nick so far. You can see that nice extension on the knees and kind of the over point on the toes there. Goes back into the front uprise to L. Front uprise in this routine, super unique kind of setup for him. Bails backwards, dislocate through to handstand, and a really nice handstand there for Nick. Double tuck to finish, and just a little step. But that was a great routine for Nick. Really good to work on the handstand there. He's struggled with that one in the past, but he really nailed that.
Yeah, you can see that he's keeping this dismount fairly simple with the B value double back, but he goes up high enough. He spots the landing. He sees where the ground is. Plenty of time to get his feet underneath him. And I could tell he took a little step there, but it's one of those things that it seemed like almost like it's an unusual thing to happen. He's like, hey, I'm used to sticking this thing. What's going on here? But
Nick's had a little bit of trouble with his dismount process. He's back and forth between the front dismount and the back dismount. But it seems like he's found something that works for him now.
There you go. There you go. And once you do, stick with it. And now going back to NIU, we have David Dortmund from, I had it a second ago. I'm just going to say he's from NIU. And I pretended that's what I meant to say all along. From Bartlett, Illinois. Aha.
And David, only a sophomore. So definitely looking forward to seeing him for, a couple more years. He's definitely one of those strong gymnasts who, if he just cleaned up a little bit here and there. But apparently this year, I'm not seeing him as strong this year as last year. I think the hurt wrist and I think the COVID winter or whatever has he's not quite there yet this year.
A building year.
Mm-hmm. Now he does have a piked Yamawaki right into I think a tucked one.
Yeah, here we see that Yamawaki sequence tucked, and just the one tucked Yamawaki, but really nice execution on it.
And once again, he usually can do a half in, half out, but I think he's just going with the tuck dismount because of his wrist issues.
Fighting through this handstand a little bit here. And, oh, wow.
Or no, only
front
he goes with the front full.
Making a liar out of all of us. And a good C value dismount. Brand spanking new.
Yeah, that front full is it's I'd say it's probably the easiest way to get to a C dismount on rings, but doesn't really upgrade that well after that. If you want to get to a front double full, that's
no, it doesn't.
Pretty much impossible.
And it is a very difficult dismount to land. So yes, you are getting that full credit element group for the dismount on with the layout full, but it's so hard because it's partially a blind landing and it's a half in, half out. You can see the ground much more readily.
Yeah, that front full, it's really easy to over rotate it. You see a lot of guys who jump forward out of it. It's pretty common. You get Sam Montague coming up here on rings. I believe he's doing 5 events today, so this is his second performance.
A well-arounder.
Cross. Yeah. He can do pommel horse. He's just not very good at it. Starts with a nice kip to cross, though. One of his strength elements. Comes back with a Yamawaki. Not quite as graceful as some of the other Yamawakis we've seen, but it gets the job done. Does the B press there, keeping his arms locked straight, so that was really nice. Back giant. And catches himself just barely. That's a good fight there.
Almost forgot that he was competing and it was like, oh, not supposed to touch the straps.
But finishes with a nice stuck half-half.
Yeah.
Really good way to finish up. He was working a double-double earlier this week, so maybe we'll get to see that later in the season from him.
That's going to be our first duck landing on rings from Sam Montague, UIC. Well done, Sam. And yes, he was showing some really good control the whole time there. And it looks like he twitched. So I was like, I'm going to put my feet in the strap so I can get a better dismount. And then remember that, no, I'm in a meet. I can't do that.
Can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that. Mama's watching. I don't know. Is Mom watching? Mom, give us a little shout out. Hello on YouTube. Any moms out there? I know mine's watching. She's all, my son's talking. I can't understand what he's saying because it's in English and whatnot. But it's that in my mind, that's what my mom sounds like. I'm going to get struck by lightning today. It's awful.
By the way, I think
Love you, Mom.
This would normally be like a senior day for the seniors. You know, if you had an audience there, they'd probably recognize them as their last home meet. And Zach, who's coming up here, has been one of the leaders on the team. I think he was captain, probably still the captain this year. And he will be sorely missed when he graduates this year.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough loss for NIU, both in gymnastics and in kind of team organization. Zach's a really, really strong leader for the team, and it's a pleasure to get to know him over the last couple of years. And he actually really helped me to bring UIC onto the GymACT program because they were doing a similar thing of going from NAIGC to GymACT at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting bringing it up. The Zach is here, and both of these teams, they're coming from the opposite ends of the spectrum into the GymACT world. You know, we talk about building new teams. There it is, a kipped across, beautifully executed. And, you know, where
he had his hands out.
The teams who are brand new from NAIGC are kind of building their competitive capacity into an arena that's a little wider in the competitive scene. And then, you know, of course, the NCAA programs that get dropped, you know, and then what do you do? Well, here's what happens: you join the GymACT teams, just as UIC has, and it's working out pretty well for both of them.
And really nice ring routine from Zach here. He's a fantastic ring worker. Finishes it up, tuck, half.
Keeps his hands off the ground.
But he keeps his hands up. Looks a lot like he kept his knees up. So that was a really great fight at the end of the routine there.
That was a senior landing fight right there, you know?
It sure is.
That's when you put your feet down and you say, no shall not touch the ground with anything else.
Yeah, I think if you have a young guy, a freshman, that one definitely goes right to your knees, or you're going face first into the mat. But someone with some experience really understands the value in keeping yourself upright.
Indeed. And then again, talking about that team atmosphere thing, where you know a landing like that will get your team fired up. You know, you know that if you're the next guy up on that event, and you see someone fight like that, you doggone well will be fighting just as hard, if not more, because you know that your brother's got your back and you have theirs. There's more to it than just the points.
Absolutely. And last up for UIC, we got Kelvin Stevens. He's a ring specialist, so you guys can expect a lot out of this routine. He's had quite the struggle of a career here. He only started in high school, but when he came in, he was one of the strongest ring guys, arguably in the country, but promptly tore his bicep his freshman year. And so now he's finally back to really full strength. He had his season cut short last year, as we all did, but this year he's been really performing on rings. Start off with a really nice sequence here. Goes back up rise, right to a straight body planche. Really nice catch there. No movement.
That's the way to do it.
Lowers into the Maltese. Nice little D and D to start it off. And he's not done though. He's got to go back up rise, right to the Maltese this time. The D, D, and E to start off the routine. It's a lot of difficulty right there. This is going to be the tough part of the routine for him. He goes in locate, back up rise to handstand. Really nice handstand. Huge improvement for him in that area. Lowers down to the cross. This is sixth
just because you can.
Because he can. He can do a cross anytime.
And because if you don't do a cross, you're not really a gymnast. That's
Exactly.
if someone says that you're a gymnast, you got to say yes, I can do a cross. Otherwise, I competed a cross I think twice in my life just so I could say that. Oh, there's a senior landing. Way to go.
There you go. Finish up with a tucked half, little step like Zach, but really nice.
Okay. That was a beautiful routine showing how powerfully strong this athlete is, and and fighting all the way to the end, showing off improvement on his handstand holds, and fighting for the landing. That's exactly what it takes. Way to go, Colin. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the halfway mark of this competition between NIU and UIC. I'm going to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine that he just sent me an email this morning, Mr. Max Seufer. He sent me an email asking me to talk about real quickly. Hey, we got this a clinic going on, a virtual clinic for gymnasts of all ages, sizes, and shapes. And it's going to be led by none other than Danelle Leva. And if you go to levagymclinic.com, and here's the plug to my buddies. This is going to be happening in the next couple of weeks here. So there's not a lot of time. Sign up for it and go check it out, because Danelle, if you've never had any kind of insight heard from him, he's an incredibly passionate human being about gymnastics and sports, and he is a phenomenal coach. So go check it out at levagymclinic.com. And I would like to now take a minute or so to talk to one of the coaches. And I'm going to call actually on our team host, Mr. Josh Levin. And if he's around, we're gonna have a quick chat with him. And if he's not, then I'll keep talking about him.
Hey, Breeze, you hear me?
I can hear you, brother, loud and clear. First of all, thanks for having us at your home gym. And this is an exciting meet. How are you feeling about things?
Absolutely. We're really excited to be here too. We had a little bit of a mistake on rings that cost us 4 points, where usually in practice he always does an in locate for that 7th skill, and then I think we might have had a little bit of a brain freeze. It's okay, we forgive him. And
yes,
it did cost us 4 points though, so it was a little tough.
Yeah, it's and unfortunately it's something that's that simple, and it's a huge change on your team score and your individual, obviously, but also the team score, because now we are at that 5 up, 5 count. Every score counts. We're depending on every one of these guys to remember that they have to do at least 7 skills to have a full start value in their routine. So I'm sorry that happened, but you guys pulled it together and kept it going strong from that.
Absolutely, and we're gonna finish meet strong to make up for that, and we're excited to head over to Vault.
All right, let's see what you got over there. I think that the judges are actually ready to go. So thank you once again for having us and sharing this experience with us. Your team is looking great. Good luck with the last 3 events, sir.
Thank you, Breeze.
One of my favorite people right there, Josh Levin from NIU, the head coach. He's actually the man who started Virtual Stars Gymnastics, and then worked together with Robert for the last couple of years on improving the system to make sure that we have what we have today with live gymnastics meets being presented, as well as meets by submission. And check it out, virtualstargymnastics.com. This is my time to do the plugs. This is the halftime show.
Yeah, so the timing on that one was really immaculate. They had the system all ready to go, and then all of a sudden everyone's looking for online meets. So it's a really fantastic platform. I was lucky enough to compete on it last year, and it was super fun. Gave us a different way to compete, which was really nice.
Yeah. No, it really is. It opens up the doors to teams that are not necessarily ready to travel, maybe don't have the budget, right? And it's a way to do this. And of course, now during the COVID times, this is the only way to do it in a safe and controlled environment. You get to train at your own gym. For those who are able to train at their own gyms, because that's still the case, where some people are not able to go in and train, and that's still a reality to this day. So people, stay safe out there, be well, and take care of each other. We're going to go to Vault now from NIU, Mr. Malcolm Moore. Let's see what he's got to show.
And Malcolm was planning on doing a laid out Sukahara with a half, but I noticed during warm-ups it looked like he wasn't maybe going to add the half. So let's see what he does here.
Yeah, you can never tell from the warm-ups, because sometimes they're just kind of holding it back a little bit. Powerhouse it. Keeps it clean,
layout,
puts it
but he
on the
sticks.
ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good move there from Malcolm. The addition of that extra, what is it, 2 tenths off, 4 tenths, excuse me, addition, to sometimes too big of a risk. And just right there, the layout, Suk sticks it, does it right, does it well. Well done, Malcolm. Right up to UIC, Sam Montague on a vault. I still call it a horse, by the way. I can't say the word, Gabe. Yeah.
The old
Just
long
don't call
horse.
it the pommel horse.
You young whippersnappers don't know what it's like to glide across that 12-inch wide piece of machinery. Or face it, chest first. That's always a pleasant experience.
Sam coming in here goes with a nice laid out full, little hop on the landing. Not the hardest vault that he can do, but just keeping it clean and consistent there for Sam.
Yeah. It was a beautifully executed, nice and stretched out. No questions about the body position on that particular vault. So well done, Sam.
Yeah, he's done.
And
He's
vault
actually
goes pretty
trained.
quick, so we're gonna go right back to NIU. Sorry, man. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna keep going. This meet is going faster than we can talk. Zap
Cole
Sipra from NIU.
Cole is doing a laid out Kasumatu.
This will be Zach on vault.
Oh, it's Zach. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to be doing. It's either laid out Sukahara or Kasumatu.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, I've seen him do both tucked full and the Suk layout, so I guess we'll find out as he goes.
I'm gonna say he's gonna do a hecht with a full.
The old hecht vault. He goes with the layout. Little step, not quite as clean as Malcolm's was, but definitely a nice vault. Yeah, we used to, about once a year, we would get out the old long horse and see if we could hecht vault over it, and the answer is always no. I can't do that. So a lot of respect for people who used to do the hecht vault, especially with the old horse.
That was actually my I competed the last set of compulsory routines, and the hecht vault was the requirement, and I struggled with that one. I did the old keep my feet down below, and points were taken off left and right. Could not get my feet up high enough to get the full value for that vault. It was insane.
Remember the days when they used to do a flip before hitting the vault?
Oh, yeah,
those guys are crazy.
And that still shows up every now and again on the Insta Twit.
I always see it. Yeah, once in a while, it's like, oh boy. I think my favorite was the Yurchenko style Arabian front on. That's crazy.
Yes.
We got Matt layout full, step back. And it looks like he was a little bit outside of the line there, so he'll get a deduction for that.
I was about to say, it's a good thing he's got a wall right there. I'm sure he leans on that wall a lot during practice. And ladies and gentlemen, you see those lines on the floor right there. They are definitely there for the judges' control, and as far as to tell if they go too far off axes, that is a deduction. They got to land in between, just like they got to stay in the middle of the floor, inside the lines. They got to stay inside the lines on the vaulting area as well. And none of the other events have that requirement, but floor and vault. And it helps also tell, especially from the camera, when the guy goes out of bounds like that, you can also go, was he slightly skewed on a different axis as well? And if he goes out of bounds, you can probably almost assume that, yes, he did. So it's a visual assistant.
So I think
it looks pretty wide. I can tell you it's a lot thinner than you think it is.
It's never wide enough.
Never is.
Cole Schreiber.
So should be Cole Schreiber with his layout Kasumatu. No, not laid out.
That'll sting. That'll sting. Yeah. Now those mats are soft and cushy to a certain extent, but landing short like that on the vaulting is always a rude awakening. And I hope he can walk it off there and be okay. But skip flowers, buddy. Skip flowers. It's as hard as it looks, ladies and gentlemen. That's as hard as it looks, and he didn't get quite the propulsion that he wanted off the table. I could tell he was a little short on his arms bending, didn't block off strong, didn't quite get enough height, and a small variation of that angle of repulsion, and it causes a big difference on the second half of that vault. Whew. All right, that brings back memories. Let's go to Sam Norwood from UIC.
Yeah, next two guys are actually both from the same home gym. We got Sam Norwood and Micah Puckett. They used to train together back in Alabama. And see who wins that battle on vault here. Sam Norwood comes in.
All
Nice
right.
layout, Suk. Not the hardest vault that we've seen, but definitely nice and clean. Little hop on the landing.
Yeah, and Suk, of course, is short for Tsukahara, which was the Japanese athlete who first performed a flipping vault after that round-off entry. And usually how it goes is that the first person in the world to do a skill internationally, in an internationally recognized competition, gets to get their name on the code of points. And Tsukahara's got a couple of them. In fact, in most of the world, if you say the word Tsukahara, they actually associate that with a double flipping skill, two flips and on half in, half out, or a full in. He was the first crazy man to do that on a floor with no springs.
And also on high bar, I believe he did the full in there.
He did it on a high bar as well. Exactly.
He really pushed gymnastics forward in a big way. Revolutionized vault and really pushed the boundaries on floor, especially even before they had those springs back on the horsehair.
Yep. And his son competed also on the world team as well for Japan.
Here's Micah Puckett, I believe.
Yeah, Micah performed good layout, Suk.
Yeah.
Slightly off axis, and then you could tell on that one what I was talking about. When the flip is supposed to go in a straight line along the axis of the run, right over the top of the table, and if you deviate slightly, of course that is a deduction, but his body shape was in a perfectly straight body position, so that was nice to see.
Yeah. We'll see how hard they hit him on that landing, because it looked like he kind of jumped backwards out of it, but otherwise a really clean vault.
I still want to see someone do a front tuck off after landing vault and just call that a hop.
I've seen it happen before. Someone did it on P bars, double pike, and then bounce forward into a front tuck. And if you stay on your feet, it's just a hop of whatever distance.
It's just a 3/10 hop. Yeah.
I've always argued you should get connection bonus for that.
Or do you lose a flip for doing that? You go backwards for two flips and forwards one. Is it just on one pike?
It's just a back pike now. Down goes from a D to an A.
That's it.
And Nick Smiley coming in here. Nick's going to do layout full.
There you see him landing out of bounds there. We were talking about the lines. Yeah. And yes, the lines start at the width of the table, at the line, right in line with the table, and it goes wider the further you go to give you a little bit of a sort of it's a little headway. You can go off slightly more the further you go. So if you don't go straight on vault, you might as well go far, because then you have a better chance of landing within lines.
All right, David's going to switch things up for us a little bit. He's going to do a Yurchenko layout 1.5.
It was only non-Tsukahara style vault here, but really cool stuff to see a Yurchenko. And funny enough, the woman who invented the Yurchenko, Natalia Yurchenko, is the owner of City Gymnastics. So,
and you can see that right there on the wall. I was about to point it out. I love that they have the drawing of the actual vault of Yurchenko, that she created. Talking again about someone who created a skill that gets the name after it. And Yurchenko is now a staple of gymnastics, and about at least half of the athletes are training it at some point in their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, Yurchenko vault's really pretty, really clean kind of entry. Wow.
Nicely done.
Big man. David. That's a huge vault for him.
Very smooth. Very nice.
And it'll probably be reflected in the score, because that Yurchenko entry it's a lot cleaner, and also he did double full. Everyone else was doing at most a full, so he's looking pretty good for a vault title right there, with how big of a start value and how cleanly he executed it.
Yeah. Big worth value skill and keep it clean. That's the magic formula right there.
Yeah.
And shout out to
his score comes in higher than a lot of the other guys even started. So that's a big score for him on vault. It's the kind of thing that'll offset your neutral deduction from rings there.
Yeah, exactly. And the last guy on vault from UIC, we have Colin Schwartz.
Yeah, Colin mostly pommels and P-bars guy, but he can vault too. And nice laid out full there. He's cleaned that up a lot used to have a lot of trouble with tucking his way up onto the table and twisting a little bit off axis, but that's cleaned up a lot this year. So good on Colin.
Indeed, and that vault performed from a round cartwheel entry vault. You can either call that a Sukahara with a full twist, or the other Japanese athlete from the same era, Mr. Kazamatsu, who created the full twisting Sukahara. And depending on how these days, it's more of a nomenclature of which direction are you twisting out of that round off. Are you twisting in the same direction that you came off the table, or opposite? That's what we would call one a suk full versus a kazamatsu. And really, they're worth the same thing. So no difference there. It's just of how you describe what you're doing from one person to the other, really. And well done, everybody. That was the fourth event out of 6, and we have the team scores up and Adam. We have Northern Illinois with 220.9 points after 4 events, and so far in first place, edging away each and every event so far, not by much on vault though, is UIC with currently scoring at 235.8 after 4 events. So great job. All of these athletes are kicking butt here. I see that what I like to see really is that deduction column with the lowest numbers possible. That to me is the priority number 1 for gymnastics. If you're performing gymnastics that's too hard for you to do it cleanly, then in my opinion, you should reevaluate what you're showing there. Now, of course, guys sometimes make mistakes. Well, everyone makes mistakes, but at some point you got to put a new skill in your routine. But is it worth mathematically or not? That's one question. And the other question is, how nice does it look for everyone to watch your gymnastics? And to me, I always go for show me something clean, show me something elegant, show me something beautiful. And that to me is the name of the game. I go for the aesthetics of the skills almost as much as I go for the difficulty of the skills. And of course, we want these guys to be competitive. We want them to be fighting for the scores there. And you got to put in some difficulty if you want to play with the big boys. And that's at some point you got to take some risks. And I feel like these guys today are showing a good balance between the risk and the clean factors. Hey, go ahead.
With the 5 up, 5 count, you definitely need to play it a lot smarter there. At the beginning of the season, you can kind of throw in a few big skills and see what happens, and then adjust as necessary. But now we're at the point where you really need to be doing the routine that you're planning to do for the rest of the season and hit every single meet. So
that's right.
Let's see. We call it watering down a little bit, but in reality, it's a smart play to just keep this routine clean and the scores nice and high.
That's right. Yeah, you might see more difficulty earlier in the season, but you definitely see the consistency jump up as the season progresses.
Absolutely.
Now, Doug, I want to hear a little bit from you because you were, as you so graciously and kind of quietly stated, a pommel horse guy, but you have a strong history on pommel horse. So first of all, thanks for being here with us today and gracing us with your presence. And tell the world that we weren't just some guy on a team. You actually did some amazing things out there. Toot your own horn for a little bit.
Well, I did nail a routine. I got to go last up, which also helps at NCAA finals. It was at Penn State, and I ended up getting first place. And the next year, unfortunately, I had to go first up in finals, and I threw a better routine that year, and I ended up second. So yeah, those were my 2 best routines. I saved them for NCAAs, luckily.
Congratulations! Not a shabby way to go with a gold and a silver on your chest and on the mantelpiece there. Congratulations, man! It's always good to hear that good people and strong athletes get what they deserve, and well done. I'm still looking for videos though. Still looking for videos.
Oh, they're out there. You can if you actually do a search under my name on Google, you'll find me. But Joe Bajek is coming up. He's a senior, so once again, this would be his senior night. He works usually 3 events, but he's only working P-bars tonight for NIU. And one of his best events is actually pommel horse, and he's going to be throwing a circle in here. They needed to be creative and get to that 7 moves that you need, right? And so you don't have that 4-point deduction. and that circle helps provide that for him here in this routine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super unique skill to add on P-bars there. It's obviously a staple of pommel horse, but it's a fun thing to throw in on P-bars instead.
There it is.
Nice
La
hard
la.
routine.
Joe is from Naperville, and he is majoring in electric engineering.
Come on, Joe, you got this.
I got my own anecdote of electrical engineering. That was what I started school with, and decided that was not enough hours in a week for that major and gymnastics. So
Joe finishes up there
props
with
out
a
to
front
Joe.
half. Little step back on the landing there, but nice hit routine overall for him.
Gets it done.
Joe-
First guy up, hit the routine.
Yeah, on and off. That's what you need to do.
And Joe is one of those guys that you can just tell that everybody on the team enjoys being with him and competing with him. So once again, as a senior, he'll be missed when he's not there with the team anymore.
Why did the good ones always go away? And here's another thing too, is that the difference between GymACT and the varsity teams for NCAA is that there is an opportunity for any of these athletes to continue competing. Now, at the moment, it's still a collegiate organization, it's collegiate standard, so they do have to be students first, right? And that's the one of the prerequisites. So if Joe decides that he wants to go to grad school and continue with his education, he is then eligible to continue to compete. So he can actually go beyond the 4th year of competitiveness through the GymACT program. So I hope he does, because that would be a fantastic thing to see. One more year of Joe.
Yeah. We got Sam Montague starting off here. Really great P-bar work. We'll see what he has for us today. Starts off with a nice little giant. Suarez, mixing it up for him. Normally starts with a giant there, but instead just the Suarez. Goes right into a peach.
Casemiro Suarez, the assistant coach at Ohio these days. He's a good friend of mine, actually. He lived in Brazil for a little while.
And finish up double tuck.
Yes.
Yeah, shortened routine for Sam there. Pulled some of his difficulty, but hits it nice and clean, and it's a good way to start it off.
Yeah, I'm consistently impressed by Sam's routines and his level, how clean his gymnastics is, and how he performs again consistently and putting up a good, strong routine at the beginning of the rotation for his team, and that's a wonderful place to be, and it's good for them, his teammates, to be able to count on him like that.
Yeah, he when he was younger, his freshman and sophomore year, he definitely played with a bit more difficulty in there, and usually it worked out pretty well. He wound up making it to NCAAs as an individual his sophomore year, but it does provide a bit more risk. And when you're in this 5-up-5 count and you have thinner lineup, sometimes it's smarter to pull some difficulty and just aim for the good execution scores.
And here goes Zach Sipra from NIU,
Cole
back
Schreiber.
in St. Charles.
Yeah, it's Schreiber.
Ah, you know what? If I go to the right screen, I will know that as well. Indeed. I was going to say, that doesn't look like Zach.
Not really. Little short hold on the handstand there. You need to hold those positions for 2 seconds on all of them. A good hold on that L and then the press.
Front full
there.
Another short and sweet routine for NIU there.
Yeah.
But I think with P-bars, honestly, it's less is more is usually my approach to it. I think my routines were over in about 15 seconds, and just go for a high execution.
Yeah, some events you stretch things out a little bit, but for the most part, you just kind of want to go through the check marks. It's like, did I get this requirement? Did I get this requirement? Do I have 7 skills? Get off.
Yeah, exactly. Here from UIC, we got Eric Barnes, another senior. Grew out a beard this year, so that's fun. Starts a nice little kip up to the L. Eric's a pommel horse and P-bar specialist, but he's actually filled in on vault before when we were thin. Nice splits to handstand. Little like leg split there, but not bad.
It's always refreshing to see a stitch to handstand that goes to handstand and not halfway to 45-degree and press up.
Nice little sequence there. A little short on the handstand. Dismounts the back half. And and the hop and the step back there, but not a bad routine at all. Pretty clean overall, and yeah, another good hit for Eric.
UIC with another traditional clean routine being performed, doing really well there, keeping those deductions down to a minimal, and that's been working out pretty well for them so far. They're edging up on that scoreboard little by little, getting them their team score up higher and higher. That's what we want to see. Back to NIU, we have Mr. Micah Puckett on parallel bars, another one of our well-rounders. I'm going to coin that term, wellrounders.com.
I think you got to put a little trademark on that. I saw that to Tim Daggett for his Olympic commentary.
I think they're going to crucify me for that, Kathy. Got to throw that one time every webcast. Tim Daggett, I love you. You're a friend of mine, part of my family.
I might add that it was Tim Daggett who beat me my senior year, took first, was at UCLA.
Hi, Micah.
So I get to, every time I turn on the TV, hear the voice of the person who beat me my last routine, college.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm sorry to open up those wounds there, Doug. I'm sorry. Oh, man. But, it's that's how the cookie crumbles, right? One day you're on top, the other day there's only one way to go. And then someone else talking about you or talking about someone else and bringing back those memories. Anyways, that was Micah Puckett on parallel bars. Unfortunately, he pulled his feet a little too hard on the landing there, and going right over to Nick Smiley.
Nick Smiley, former JO national champion on this event.
What?
Starts off with a nice clean press and handstand. Nice below, comes out of it a little awkward, but definitely hit the handstand, so it should be something. Comes through with the Dion, little over. Nice stutz to handstand.
Come on now. Come on.
Finishes off double tuck.
Showing why he was national champion on this event. That was a beautiful routine. Now, you can tell when things don't go right, but that the athlete has enough time and the wherewithal to put, there was like 7 hand placements, and none of them looked like he was frantic about it. He was just moving his hands very deliberately. That's too many words there, but putting them exactly where they belonged and adjusting a little bit at a time until he finalized his element and finished where he was supposed to be. And that was, I was impressed. I'm impressed he stayed on the bars at all, let alone make it as nice as he did for the rest of the routine.
Yeah, he drills that below all the time and really works it to make sure that if something does go wrong, he knows how to control it and pull out a nice looking skill, even if it's not really quite right.
Okay, now we have Zach Cipra on P-bars.
Now I can say Zach Cipra. I always like to bring up the fact that Zach had one of my favorite handstand locations for the handstand contest that we did for GymACT before the season. We did all these challenges, and Zach did his right in front of the NIU school sign. It was awesome.
Nice
double tuck to finish.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Celebrate. Getting the boys pumped up there.
Had a good.
That was a great routine.
L there. Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back together and putting the team back on where they know they can be. Zach doing his job, picking up. I know that the couple of routines before just had a few shaky moves, but he definitely brought back the energy and the intensity that the team needs to finish this competition strong. Great job, Zach, on P-bars.
Now you guys might know better.
What were you gonna say, Doug?
You guys might know better than me, but NIU, their high score this season is 338.8. Are we on track for that, or are we off now because of that?
I think we're able to see after parallel bars. We can run the math on it, but it looks like they should be mostly on track. I checked after vault, and they were on track. So I think it'll come down to their high bar lineup to see if they can break that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how the math works, of course, but it's something. I think they definitely are looking stronger today than they have in the past. But now that it's a 5 up, 5 count with that 4-point deduction that they had on one of the routines, that's going to put him right on the edge of that top
It'll be
score.
real close. Three finishing up with a double tuck right to his back.
It kicked out like a
Just
madman.
overcooked it. Yeah, that's a tough way to overdo that, because you know that you could have stuck it. You had all the time in the world to catch it, but
that was a gorgeous double back, and he really,
really nice. Really, he's got a really nice pop to his double back. He really can float that thing. And you see the execution coming in here. Only had 2.2 off and 1 point for that fall, so it's otherwise a super clean routine. And just going straight to his back.
Yeah.
So here we've got David Dortmund again. Oh, Breeze, I'm sorry. Do you want to introduce?
No, you're doing great, man. The less I do, the better. The more people are happy at home listening to this, because they don't want to hear my voice anymore.
David usually does pretty well. He's got a Healy Healy in his routine.
My favorite way of hitting the ribs in the bars.
Yeah, real easy to miss inside or outside. Break your hand, land on your ribs. So, the tough skill to do.
Ooh, that's how.
It dismounts with the front half twisting inwards to the bar, which is a unique technique there. A little bit old school. Really great way. Another great way to hit your ribs on the bars.
Or clip your toes at the end and land on your face.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we twist away from the bars on that one these days. It's like, wait, you're not supposed to hit the bar? No, turn the other way.
Yeah.
Works better. It took us a few generations to figure that one out, but we did. But turns out, David wants to do it the old way.
Not for everyone.
Not for everyone. And he did it really well. Again, with a front enterprise like that, you can do pretty much anything you want. I mean, gosh, that was huge.
Looks like he should be working towards the double front with half. We'll see how that goes in the future.
Come on, David. Let's go. Tough it up, buddy.
Yeah, David, this is your sign. Double flip it. I'm sure you can do it. Last
on parallel bars.
Here.
Come on, Colin.
Colin always been a staple of this UIC P-bar lineup. He always had a super clean, consistent routine. Starts with the studs, a little short of the handstand, but not bad. Really clean lines.
The angle of the camera. The angle of the camera is a little off.
Yeah. Right into the peach. Nice L hold. Up into that press. And really nice holds on all these. Finishes the back half and six.
Done.
Yeah.
UIC once again.
Dismount.
Nice.
So he won't be getting the stick flag, but no deduction either. So good routine for Colin.
That's right. We did. So UIC has the only stuck landing that is difficult enough to get a flag on parallel bars for Mr. Nick Smiley. Congratulations there. That was a great routine and a dismount. We were just talking about dismounts, the angles. Oh, I was going to say something about the camera angles. Of course, what you see is what the judges are looking at, right? So this is one of the things where exactly from this camera angle is what the judges are sitting at home judging with. And, so they have to make some decisions that are as accurate as possible based on the angles and or do you see the hand or the foot move? Was it a glitch on the network, or was it actually, a hop or a wobble? These are the decisions that the judges are having to face constantly throughout this new medium, this new platform that is the virtual competition setup. And I want to give a shout out to my other brothers who also do these virtual competitions. Just because we have a couple minutes here to while the guys are starting the one touch, is we have a number of companies and friends, personal friends of mine, who are all working so hard day and night to put together these systems. We have Doug from STS Systems. We have Ambert from Verdius. We have Dan Young from I'm spacing out on his company name right now, but he does the
gymnastic. Was it something gymnastics league?
Yeah, exactly. The fantasy gymnastics league is what he's running.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. And and a number of other people who have been, figuring this out. And listen, we can't be in the same gym with multitude of people. We got to do this competition. Sometimes the athletes can be in the same gym, but then the parents and families can't. So we are all figuring this out together. We're all dealing with the glitches. We're dealing with the technology. We're dealing with the what happens if the camera doesn't work. And I want to say a personal thank you to everyone who is, number one, patient with the system, that is enduring this process, this learning process that we're all going through. And I want to say a huge thank you to anyone who is out there putting their time, energy, and the money where their mouths are to make the competition scene continue and thrive. I mean, we have these two teams. They happen to be in the same city, but we've had a number of competitions already with teams across the country, from East Coast against the West Coast. We had South against the North competitions, thousands of miles away. The judges today, I have Peter Wiggin, I have Mike Cook, and I have John Portillo, who are all in different states. The teams are, where they are. The coaches, and commentators. We have, once again, I have my commentator, uh, commentators from across the world from one another, literally, right? We have one in Chicago and have one in Amsterdam. So this is a phenomenal thing that we can do to bring the gymnastics community together. I want to say once again, thank you to everyone who is watching this meet or any other meet live on online. Know that we are here just putting it out there for you, for ourselves, right? I do this for egotistical reasons. I want to see gymnastics. I want to see the best gymnastics in the world, and I get to participate on this right now. And just know that these organizations are all struggling financially, putting their time and energy into where the work is, so that you can enjoy these competitions. So if you have it in you, the ability, please go ahead and help us out financially. Go to the company's websites and donate as much as you can or want. It's always greatly appreciated. So we're going to go now on high bar with Zach Cipra for NIU.
Come on, Zach.
All right. So Zach does some neat elements. He's got an endostalter. He does a vault catch.
Nice, elegant lines on the endo, yeah. Right to the handstand. You want to make sure that you hit those handstands exactly at the top there. Every single time there's a turning skill.
Not so much on the pirouette there, but really nice in the endo.
Mm-hmm.
Nice stick landing there.
There's the
really
way
nice
to do it.
The double tuck. That was a great way to finish 13. And high bar is so easy to get deducted on. So a really smart, good, clean construction for Zach there should pay off.
Mm-hmm.
I think high bar is one of the places where basically you can assume you're going to get a point off just for doing anything while you're up there, and anything that you can get to bring it back closer to just the point off is really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for points to be taken off on high bar, and especially for those guys who are like longer and like to swing slower. You're going to give the judges all the time in the world to put their pens down to the paper. So it's just and it's almost some certain level of predictability too, where the high bar, what's coming based on your technique, based on where the dynamic of the move is coming from. You know where it's going to head, and then you just get that verification, the visual verification that the deduction happened, and so you can anticipate it a little bit. So here we go to the next guy on high bar for UIC. We have Mr. Nick Smiley.
Nick Smiley, one of those tall guys, but he can really swing. And it's a little hard to see from this angle, but that back wall is not an awful far distance from the high bar. So Nick definitely gets within a foot or so there. Nice save there.
Yeah, I asked Charlie earlier today. I was like, "Hey, those guys are not going to dismount that way, are they?" He's like, "No, they're coming this way."
I really hope not.
Ooh,
nice little fly giant there. A UIC staple. I think that's probably the first skill Charlie ever told me to learn when I got in the gym. Was, you want a free B on high bar, it's learn a fly giant. Nice pirouette there, really good lines. Goes up into the dismount, double tuck full. Really nice. And after he just missed his hand on the bar to start, an otherwise really clean routine. But that backup rise to pirouette proved to be a little bit of trouble for him at the start.
getting a little love from his teammates, rightfully so. That was indeed a good routine after that little hand placement there, but he pulled it together and finished strong and kept that momentum going for his teammates on this last event. Great job, Nick. Moving on to NIU, we have Cole Schreiber starting up momentarily. And again, what a great meet this is going on for these two teams. Not far from one another, and as you can tell from James, that these guys see each other often in both in training and competition. Normally, these days, not so much because gym time is sparse these days for everyone. Finding a place to train and time to go.
Cole starts off with that ball catch, same that we saw from Zach.
Now he's got a unique hop where he has his hands. Oh, I don't know if he did it now.
He also did the flying giant like Nick did.
Okay.
Cranking up for the dismount. Half in, half out.
Just a little step, but a really nice routine.
Yeah.
What is the point value difference for a half and half out versus a tuck double?
C versus a B.
So it's like only a tenth?
Yeah, just 1/10. But you're eligible for the stick bonus.
Right. So I can see why like Zach Cipra apparently can do a half and half out, but he can stick his tuck double almost all the time. So it's not worth the risk to do the half and half out.
Yeah, that's usually how that works out. It's you definitely gotta do the math in your head, and you do enough of these skills, do hundreds of them literally, and figure out, is it worth it or is it not? Should I take the chance to get that stick bonus, or do I have a strong finish that will get my teammates pumped up?
We got Sam Norwood. He had an old UCL tear from a few years ago, and he tweaked his elbow this week, so he's mixing up his routine a little bit. Starts off with one front giant because he can't really do them right now. Goes right into the Tkachev and pulls it out really good. Got a unique technique. Oh, actually, he's going back to the front giant. I guess he lied to me. Stoops right into the jam. Nice, unique element for him. Jam to the L giant. Seeing those less and less these days now that it's not a requirement to go into the L giant anymore. And double tuck full. Little step, but a really nice routine overall for Sam.
Yes, indeed. And as we're getting close to the closing of this competition here, just a question that was posed by Jim Barnt on YouTube is Nationals going to happen in Daytona Beach this year? And that is exactly true. We are, for the first time ever, going to have the Collegiate National Championships in tandem with the developmental, or JO Nationals, if you will, or JO and JE, which is why now they're calling it developmental. So yes, all of that's going to happen in the same venue on the same weekend. In fact, it's both the men's and the boys and girls national championships, as well as the collegiate national championships, all in one venue. Now, having said that, the venue is huge, so there's going to be basically 3 different events happening all at once, but all in the same city. So good luck to everyone who's headed out that way. It looks like these 2 teams are well on their way.
Okay, this is Ethan Meister, and I'm told he's supposed to do a Winkler. I'm not sure what that means.
Ooh, here comes.
There we go.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Full twisting Jaeger there. Double tuck full.
Nice job. That's Ethan Meister from NIU showing some big, big moves there. I know that he's got a lot more under his belt that he could do, but that's what he puts out in competition safely and consistently. He did a great routine. Always exciting to watch. Oh, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. And the Winkler, of course, It is a full twisting Jaeger in the laid out position. And he does it from an L grip, though it is worth the same whether you do it from L or not, which is always bums me out. I think that's stupid. But that's just my opinion.
I'm with you on this one, Breeze. I think that old bonus of L grip to release or release to L grip should be brought back in the new code. Provides a lot of fun opportunities.
Throw the guy a bone, man. I know, right? And the combinations, too.
Ethan used to compete at Ohio State, and but he had been competing on their club team. Apparently, if you have an NCAA team, you can't be in GymACT, but they did have a club team, and then he still had he got COVID. Because of last season, he got the extra year of eligibility to come back.
That's right. That is one of the things that we felt so strong about at GymACT, is that these guys who got basically cheated of their final season, they deserve it. They need to come back and be able to produce the best routines ever at the last year of competition, not half of meat. So here it is, Mr. James Stravey. Ooh,
layout, little hop.
Another one of those lay pike sort of a thing. The judges are going to have to make a distinction of whether or not that was more than a 45-degree bend on his body. I don't think it was. So I would give him a layup for sure. And, of course, he's going to wish that he had not pulled his feet in so much on that landing so he could have stuck it. But a great routine, nevertheless, for James Stravey from UIC.
Oh, my God.
Nice clean routine, 2 points off on high bar. That's a good day.
We saw Stevie was missing a release element there, one of the required elements, but he probably thought it was a better idea to go with shorter routine, make sure he can stay on. Yeah, the UIC high bar lineup running a little bit thin today, but hopefully we'll get some good stuff out of the last couple guys, Sam Montague and Levi Bolliot, both really good high bar workers.
But right now, we're seeing a strong Tkachka from Micah Puckett on a high bar for NIU. His last routine for the night. Showing some strong swinging, hitting those handstands where it belongs. Comes the Endo. Endo, another Japanese athlete with skills in just about every event.
Now here I'm told he can do a nice triple back, but unfortunately, once again, is it worth the deduction? Oh, and he took a hop anyway in his double back.
Should have done
three. Clearly he had enough power too. Maybe we'll get to see it next time he's competing. But yeah, I saw a video of that. He was really up there. This kid's really powerful in that high bar dismount. So hopefully we'll get to see a big triple back. That's a huge skill for anyone really, but it'd be great to see that.
And it doesn't take a lot of work to find a couple of variations of him doing the triple back and a huge stuck landing on it too, which I understand he does frequently. So that's awesome. I did a triple back off high bar a few times. I also did a couple of the 2 3/4, and those were always fun. In fact, a quick little shout out to Mike Burns for saving my life at one point at a competition on what was supposed to be a triple back, and it wasn't. So thank you, Mike, for keeping me alive and talking.
Sam Montague here, starting off with a nice free hip up to the handstand. Starts off with straddled Tkachka. A lot of power there. He can do a few variations of that skill, but keeping it clean with the straddle today. A little turning sequence there. Finish it up, double layout with full. Oh, and taps his hands down.
Yeah, didn't quite get his feet up enough on that release of the moment of the high bar there. That is always the death of a dismount. But that's a huge dismount for a fairly tall guy. So you got to make sure that you're pulling all the power you can as far in as possible before you release the bar, and just let go a little too soon. But otherwise, good routine for Sam, finishing strong here. The UIC team was again clean, and a couple of big skills. I like to see it. Flying Giant, always a fun thing to watch.
All right, David Dortmund. I didn't even know you could do a Yamawaki on the high bar, but I think that's what he can do.
Yamawaki is a proliferous athlete.
He also is going to do a heck half right into a Tkachev. And he can do a quast into a Rybalko.
Wow. He's got the whole coat of points in his routine.
Pretty stacked routine here for David.
I want to see what's going to come out here.
And he can do a Kovacs, but he's watering down his routine today.
There's the Yamawaki. Into a Ginger!
Right into the Ginger.
That's
now
two
a connection bonus there.
He already has half the countries in the world connected by one routine. A half Takamoto.
Half talk, little short on that handstand there. That should finish up in the handstand, ideally. Now here's the quast.
Oh, he didn't do the Rybalko. Right on it.
No Rybalko this time. Let's see, dismount, double tuck with full. Comes up just
the old Tsukahara dismounts.
Yeah, he was running out of gas there, I think.
Yeah, it's a long routine though. I can see why he'd be a little tired for that dismount. It's otherwise really, really gorgeous and a lot of difficulty in that routine overall.
Yeah, it is a surprise. I mean, most people don't realize how difficult high bar really is and how strenuous it is. I mean, it looks like it's elegant and fluid, but these guys are working really hard. The G forces on their hands are tremendous. I mean, we're talking 3, 4 times your body weight hanging by your hands, and those strong taps that you saw him do, changing the direction of the giant dramatically from one skill to the other. It takes a lot of energy to keep that routine going like that. So, yeah, you get to the end and you beat. That's how it is. And you can do a half and half out anytime you want to, but at the end of the routine, it's a whole new skill. And the last athlete for tonight's competition, Mr. Levi Bolliot.
Levi starting off here with that same skill, Yamawaki, not connected to the Ginger, but goes right up into a kip. And we'll get to see he does the same Takamoto that David did. Oh, maybe not today. Goes with a Weiler kip. Nice little Healy. He'll finish up here. Big dismount, double layout with
There's the toes up. Yes, sir.
Puts it down. Great way to finish off the meet for Levi.
Want to do a little gymnastics research? Go play back those last 2 dismounts and see how much higher Levi's toes went up on that dismount, and you'll see why he made it around on a half and half out laid out. That was a great, great set to end. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the performing aspect of our competition tonight. I want to say a huge congratulations to every single one of these athletes. Oh my goodness, that was exciting to watch. Thank you, thank you, thank you to my my partners in crime here on the commentary side of things. We are going to make a few announcements of the team scores momentarily. We're also going to do our traditional backflip off for the GymACT backflip. I expect James for you to throw down. Otherwise, I'm not hiring you again. And we're going to talk about some other aspects of the competition and also a few interviews afterwards. So stick around. But for now, I just want to say congratulations indeed to coaches Josh Levin and Mr. Charlie Nelson from NIU and UIC, respectively, for a wonderful performance by both of those teams. The guys are going to start gathering on the floor exercise so that we can do their awards here. And I'm sure that they can all hear me, so I'm going to stop talking about them momentarily. Well done indeed. Once again, thank you to the judges who are here tonight, Mr. Peter Wiggin, Mike Cook, and John Portillo. Thank you very much for your participation, for your work and dedication. Without you, of course, we couldn't have a competition. It would just be us showing off in front of one another without knowing what that was worth. So thank you, judges. Thank you to the coaches. Thank you, my narrators, Mr. James Martin, and to, that wasn't to me. People are talking in my ears and distracting me. And Doug Kizo. For being here with us today. That was a really a wonderful, wonderful experience. I love getting you guys input on things, and the perspective that you brought to this was indeed valuable to me, and I'm sure to people at home listening in, both now live and in the future reviews of this particular video and competition. So thank you once again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing right now is we are waiting for the judges to finalize their scores, and then the coaches who will be verifying that the scores that they received, well, not the scores, excuse me, but the start value, that the start value for their routines are acceptable, meaning what they expected those athletes to receive was indeed. So we're going to the little by little, you're going to start seeing and hearing different voices here as they all join us as we stop talking about them and talk to them instead. So it looks like they're still dealing with that, with the logistics. But as soon as we get that verification, we'll quantify these team scores at the end of the meet here. So once again, we have the competition being run and shown to you in virtual Stars Gymnastics website. Thank you to Robert Davis for doing all the work on that background, making sure that the scores are tallying correctly and the mathematics behind all these numbers make sense. Thank you, John Lucas, for the production of this event and putting it out there on your YouTube channel, which is our YouTube channel, I should say, because it's a part of the NorCal United team effort. And this is what we do to keep ourselves engaged with gymnastics when we're not coaching or whatever else we're doing with gymnastics, right? We might as well be showing videos. So thank you, John, for that. Let's just go ahead and look at, without the official scores being verified, I'm going to talk about the stuck landings. Why not? We had 3 stuck landings for UIC versus the 2 stuck landings for NIU. So congratulations to UIC for having the highest number of stuck landings on this particular competition. Of course, there were more stuck landings than that, but these are the ones that received bonus points, meaning they did a C or higher level dismount. So I will speak slowly and see if Josh and Charlie have already. I can see them on my screen, so they're actually looking at pieces of paper and making sure that everything is going on okay. We don't want to rush them. This is the moment where, as soon as they call out these numbers as accurate, these are the numbers that will be pushed out to the national ranking system, Road to Nationals. So if you go to roadtonationals.com, you will see that these scores are all, well, as soon as we finalize them, we'll send them there, and then they will be formalized as into the national ranking system. These teams are in the same platform as the varsity teams from all across the country, and you will see them ranked accordingly among those teams. And that's one of the things that we do here at GymACT. We are proponents of this high level competitiveness of the sport of gymnastics in the collegiate level, and it seems to me like things are moving forward beautifully right here. So I see most people join me already on the live on air channel. So, gentlemen, I want to say, because the world heard me, but you didn't, thank you so much for your participation. And did we get a verbal confirmation then from everybody? If I get 1 thumbs up, then that means yes for everybody. Good. All right, let's do it. So, without further ado, tonight's competition between Northern Illinois University and Gymnastics at UIC. We have in second place with a total of 331.5 points, the team from Northern Illinois. Give it up. And I'm sure they're jumping up and down for joy off camera. And at some point, they're going to join us on camera. Ah, there they are. There they are, coming in one at a time. I like that. Fantastic. Congratulations, boys. And we know what they probably were standing in front of the screen waiting for this result. So, and then in first place tonight with a 348.7 points, none other than Gymnastics at UIC. Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, so that now, again, stick around for the post-meet production that we're going to be doing, asking questions and presenting awards individually and some special awards from both the judges and the coaches. So, but for now, what we're going to do is we're going to end officially this gymnastics competition in the GymACT style of the 1, 2, 3, go GymACT. So everyone who has a microphone available, go ahead and unmute yourselves. And I will say 1, 2, 3. We will all say go GymACT together. And if you are able and safe, please perform a backflip, and that'll be the official ending of this competition. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Breeze Olson from Santa Cruz, California, among with John Lucas, Robert Davis, John Portillo, Doug Kizo, James Martin, Peter Wiggin, Josh Levin, Mike Cook, and Charlie Nelson. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands out in the air. Let's do this together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go! That's gymnastics at its finest. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Be well. Take care of yourselves. And for those of you who are sticking around, let's go ahead and do some individual awards, shall we? Don't tell those NIU guys not to go anywhere. We still got to get their due diligence for their awards. I'm just going to read it off the website. We're going to start on floor exercise, giving kudos to he who has the highest score of the night. It looks to me like with a 12.9. That is the highest one on my list. From NIU, Mr. David Dortmund. Congratulations, David. First place on floor exercise. All right, moving on to the pommel horse. The individual first place award for tonight's competition will go with a 12.8. He can tumble and he can swing the horse. It is from NIU, Mr. David Dortmund. Indeed. Man, that's an unusual combination. If you can tumble and do pommel horse, that's the way to do it, man. On the rings, the ring masters of the evening. Indeed, there are two of them. Just there are two rings. Ha, see, I did it. I can still pun. Here we are. From we have from both of them, in fact, from UIC with a 12.3, tied for first place on the rings, on the still rings, Mr. Nick Smiley and Kelvin Stevens Jr. Well done. Well done. 12.3 on rings. That's higher than I ever scored. My highest score on rings was a 9.4. Right along, too. Yes, thank you very much. I'll be here all weekend. Tried the veal. On the vault. He can run, he can jump, he can stick. Although I'm not sure if he's stuck, but he can definitely land. On vaulting with a 14.1. A huge vault. I remember this. From NIU, Mr. David Dortmund. That was indeed a beautiful vault. Paying homage to the owner of City Gymnastics, Yorchenko. Elena, is that her first name? James, help me out. Natalia. That's it. I spaced out there. Cool. Thank you, Natalia, for your contributions to the gymnastics world. I love you. Moving on to parallel bars. There is only one winner, and with a 12.1 from UIC, Sir Colin Schwartz. Congratulations, Colin. Beautiful routine it was. And the last event we just saw happen, and in first place with an 11.7, with an impressive lineup of skills from NIU, Mr. Ethan Meister. Indeed, tonight's Meister of the high bar. Well done. And we had several athletes tonight, in fact, perform the all-around, not just the well round, but those who did 6 events. And but there can only be one all-around winner. And tonight, with a whopping 73.5, putting his name up on a scoreboard way high, first place goes to NIU's David Dortmund. Yeah, 73. Once again, got my highest all-around scores beat by a good 15 points. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is those are the numbers. But now we're going to go to the qualitative portion of the evening. The awards that I would like to share with you now are coming from the judges. And I believe, Mike, are you going to be the spokesperson for this one again?
Yes, I am. I was nominated by the other judges to give out this award.
You drew the short stick for sure on that one. Everyone took a step back.
Yeah. But I'm always happy to recognize some of the great stuff we saw today. And
That's
we saw
awesome.
some good stuff. Sam.
So hang on. Let me before you start. Let me just say this is going to be the ROV award. And for those of us of a certain generation, ROV was a requirement while we were competing, and that stands for risk, originality, and virtuosity. And indeed, you were given points for that. You were given bonus points for having risk, or originality, or virtuosity in your routines. And I love that concept so much. Again, I talked many times about how the most beautiful, elegant routines are the ones that are, in my opinion, the best ones. So I wanted to give out an award that comes from the judges, and they will list maybe a few examples that exemplify this concept of ROV in the gymnastics they saw today. And then there will be one virtual winner of this presentation. So Mike, take it away.
Okay, so we saw some good gymnastics today, some really exciting stuff. Sam from UIC did the back layout to punch front 1 1/4. That was really well done. Also, honorable mention, Joe from NIU did the circle on P-bars, a really unique skill that we liked seeing. And Kelvin from UIC went beast mode on the rings with strength. That was by far and away the strongest guy on rings today, with the back uprise planche, a Maltese, and another back uprise Maltese, really showing off a good level of strength. But we have 2 winners from, so we had a tie in the risk category, we have Ethan from NIU doing the Pogorelev on high bar. That's a super risky move, and that was so cool to see today. And then in the originality and virtuosity category, we have Nick from UIC doing the front uprise to V on the rings. That's a really unique skill, and not everyone can do it. And he did it super well with very good execution. So it's really cool to see a unique skill and to see that done well. So congratulations to Ethan and to Nick for winning the ROV awards today.
Indeed. Congratulations, gentlemen. There were some amazing performances, some things that stick into our minds, and I often like to throw in my own 2 cents of what I think, more people that should be receiving some of these honorable mentions, if you will. And I'm going to put my most impressive part of the meet today, and that was something that stood out for me, and it was the performance on parallel bars by Mr. Zach Sipra, just because I feel it was a pivotal performance for the team right there, where it was a moment where the team was starting to show some signs of struggle, and Zach certainly stepped up, showing what the seniors do for the team, showing what the seniors do for their brothers, and exemplified the epitome of the college athletes, right? Putting it all out on the line, landing strong, pumping up their fists, and moving forward and finishing the meet as strong as humanly possible. So that pivotal performance by Zach Sipper on parallel bars is my vote for the most memorable moment of this competition. So congratulations. And the last thing that we like to do is a special award that we also created here for the GymACT events, and I think it's an important one, and is that of the most valuable teammate award. So this is where we invite the teams to talk amongst themselves and make a decision of whose performance they feel, or whose competition they feel was the most valuable to the team. And I believe the UIC guys have a term for that, the game ball award, right? James, is that right? Is that what you guys did? So yeah, another one of those translated traditions from one sport to another, basically meaning that, this is what we feel was important to us. This is from the inside. That's something that made a difference. What was that pivotal performance? What was that one skill, that one landing, that one, something that was new in the routine that they finally got to do? And those of us from the outside maybe don't know about that, but there's an inside meaningful experience to the team. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite the away team, the invited team first, if you don't mind. We're going to talk to the UIC guys. So Charlie, I know that you're there and you have a mic on you, so even though you guys are tiny on my screen, if you don't mind sharing who your team captains will be to present the most valuable team award.
So sorry, you can hear me. I think I did it again.
We can hear you
live when I didn't mean to. Been bumping up the speaker there so that the team can hear what you're saying. But if it's okay, James. Yeah. This is one of our captains. Our other captain, Nick Smiley, won a couple of awards here today. You didn't see him. He actually had to run out the door and head to work. That's right. That's part of being a collegiate athlete, right? A real collegiate athlete is getting work done in the gym, you get work done in the classroom.
The well-rounded award goes to...
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's why Nick's not standing right next to me here. But I talked with, my assistant coach, spoke with captains. Nick had texted me our thoughts for what we call the game ball. You want to hold that up for me? Thank you. Yeah, it is a 1983 pull-away UIC jacket. It is so out of style. It's back in style. And it has been our man of the meet, our game ball, for several years now. But just a couple honorable mentions, right? It's already been mentioned. Kelvin Stevens, honorable mention because, he was in beast mode and probably the best giant handstand he's done in a competition. But there's more there. And so that's why it's not his today. Eric Barnes jumped in on parallel bars and swung some nice horse. Solid day for Eric. Honorable mention. But our consensus here is that we're going with Stephen Forbes. Stephen Forbes, first college meet, right? Freshman, nailed his routine and did it early on, right? And anybody who's been out on the floor competing knows that those nerves can take you over, or you can focus them in, and that's what he did today, and that's why he's our man of the meet.
That's awesome. You can't see this from I'm watching the gallery view, and there's a lot of heads nodding, going, that's right. It takes a lot to jump in there under pressure, first meet, first year, and to perform as well as he did for his brothers. And this is where it starts, my friend. Good luck. It can only get better from here if you can actually imagine that. Well done. Congratulations, UIC. And for your performance there and being recognized by your teammates. That's a beautiful thing. Can I get him to say a couple words and tell me a little bit about, like, from your perspective there, sir, having received this award, how do you feel, and then what do you have to say back to your brothers on this honor that you are being recognized for?
So you're ready to be on the spot here? Hold on, let me make sure that you're going to be heard. Say hi to the fans at home.
Hi.
Yep. That's a freshman for you, right? He's gonna win this a few more times, and then he'll have plenty to say. Congratulations, right? That's the first handshake I've given in like 18 months. So that's awesome.
Yep. There you go. That's how we start the new process in life post-COVID. One handshake at a time.
Exactly.
Go sanitize your hands, Charlie. All right, thank you very much, guys. That was fantastic. Oh my God, that's yes, thank you, freshmen. All freshmen across the world deserve that. All right, moving on to the host of tonight's competition, Northern Illinois University. And who do I have the pleasure and honor to speaking with?
Micah, and we're going to nominate him for stepping up on floor and vault and pushing through an ankle injury. We really needed a score tonight, and he really stepped up today to put an important score out for our team.
All right, congratulations, Micah. That is what it's at. Now, we all know what it's like to perform under pressure, and some of us know what it's like to perform with an injury. So, Micah, first of all, tell me a little bit about what happened to you. What's going on with your body? Are you obviously you felt safe enough to perform today?
I was doing a new high bar routine, a new dismount, and I went for a triple back after end of a routine, and I opened up just a little early and landed really short.
And that's sometimes all it takes. But you pulled it together and you felt
like
safe enough.
Ago. I'm still having a little pain, but it's slowly getting better.
Awesome. And then, so what do you have to say to your teammates in regards to being offered this honor of being recognized for your efforts today?
What do you have to say to your teammates for being honored?
I'm super proud of everyone on our team that's honored and whatnot. I just wish I could have done a little bit better and not hurt myself, but it is what it is, and I'm just proud of our team and our gymnastics for today.
There is the humility that comes through of a true champion. All right, being recognized by his teammates and still wishes he could do more. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Micah. Congratulations, well deserved, a beautiful performance. And, and of course, we can always do better. But indeed, obviously, good enough for your teammates to be extremely proud of having you as a brother in their team. So congratulations to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just pass on the last word to the coaches. And we can pal out a little bit after as well if you want to, but let's just say, Charlie, if you're there, if you have any last words to say about your team before we part. We might have lost him because no, he's coming. He's coming. That's okay. Take your time. Take your time.
There I am. Sorry about that, guys.
We're good.
Sorry. I missed you a little bit there. I think you were calling me though. We our gym's gonna get used, for more gymnastics, so we want to make sure we get everything back in place. Sorry it seemed like we were walking away from you guys there. But yeah. What a day. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, judges. Thank you, commentators. Breeze and John. This technology is just amazing to be able to get gymnastics out to people like this.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to your team. That was a heck of a performance. Clean routines, just enough difficulty to keep things interesting and risky, but performing some amazing like I said, elegant and clean, and that was the name of the game all throughout the meet for you guys. So,
Yeah.
what's up next for you guys? Are you thinking of doing some major updates or upgrades, or are you gonna stick to this sort of edging up little by little?
Well, you know,
what's your
if you start at a 13 or a 14, you're getting 10 points to start with, and that's what we're trying to capture, all 10 of those points. Then we'll worry about adding a tenth or 2/10 or 3/10 on the start value. Just because you know, COVID mitigations have put us in a position where it's been hard to get into the gym. And I like to say, right, you're interviewing me, but Satchel Hudson right over here is the one who's really in the gym every day, and it's those captains who are taking leadership of this team. And I'm helping to keep things moving forward. But those guys are doing the work. And we have a plan, and it's coming together. Right, we made a 20-point jump this week. And,
wow.
Yeah. It was from January, so it's been a little while since we competed. But yeah, we're looking to, you know, incrementally. I don't think we'll see that kind of jump in another couple of weeks when we meet Georgia. But we've got Georgia on March 20th. Please tune in, and you know, hopefully we'll come away with another win. We'll come away with another season high, and start building, right, so that when we get into May and get into that national championship, the GymACT championship at the USA Collegiate or USA Gymnastics junior meet, that we'll put on a good show, and we'll give the big dogs a run for their money. ASU, Washington, we're coming for you. Temple, you too.
Oh, I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Indeed, I saw some such amazing performances today. You guys are well on your way, and through all the difficulty of the time off the gym and the limitations of when you can be in the gym and where, you guys, this 20-point jump is no small feat under any circumstances, but especially in this time of the year and this time of our lives. So congratulations to you and your team, and the team by extension, the coaches and everybody else who is helping provide a space for you guys. So my gratitude personally from me to the gym owners and to the whole community who's embracing you guys there and helping you continue to thrive the way you are. So congratulations to all of you on that. So thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
All right. So the last word for today will be by my friend, Mr. Josh Levin, the head coach for NIU, our host for today. Josh, thank you for having us. And how do you feel about today's competition?
Oh, well, first of all, congratulations to Charlie and to UIC. They look great. They were on their game. We struggled a little bit. We were 7 points down from the last meet due to that little error on rings that we had, and then we had a few falls on top of that. So we got to get back in the gym, and we got to fix this, and we got to go back up instead of coming down here. So, but I am proud of the guys. We added some injuries, and we had to fight through that, and we had to change our lineup a little bit. So we did the best we could. I think that we are going to go up considerably when we're back at it at the next competition.
Yeah, from a outsider standpoint, not knowing the process that you all go on the day in, day out, right? Because we all have those ups and downs that are happening, but we just see the one marker when we see the meet, right? But you guys are looking good, man. Guys, what I saw that impressed me the most on your team is the tenacity of every single athlete, fighting tooth and nail from start to finish of every routine and not giving away a single thing. And the energy level and the camaraderie and the gratitude from one to the other, that's what makes the college team thrive. So in that aspect, congratulations to you and your team for doing a phenomenal job today.
Thank you so much. I absolutely agree with you. We have some tenacious athletes who they can endure some pain, and then they can they can definitely hit when needed too. So they're very good athletes, very good attitude. Very proud of them.
Awesome. Very, very cool. I'd like to offer, once again, my love and gratitude to all the moms out there who are watching today. I saw a couple of comments coming through on the YouTubes. So thank you, parents. Thank you, family members. Thank you, sports enthusiasts, for watching this. And it's an amazing thing to me that this community continues to hold together. And in my opinion, stronger than ever in these times that we're all facing. This is a place where we can enjoy each other's company in certain aspects, but to see these athletes show the best gymnastics that they have, for the family members to go yes, they are still pursuing something that they are passionate, that they love, and that they're working so hard towards. They have worked so hard towards for so many years. Every one of us here on this panel of the coaches and the commentators and the judges, we are all gym rats of our own right, and we all love the sport so much. We want to be part of this in every way. So I want to say thank you to everyone, the grander community, to John Portillo, my friend from college from many moons ago, Josh Levin for hosting us today, Mike Cook. I've met you virtually, and every time I see you, I get to know you a little bit better, and I am so grateful and more honored to call you a friend. James Martin, of course, the N2 award recipient for 2020, and well-deserved, showing us here today his graciousness and his camaraderie, his hard work and dedication to the sport, all the way from Amsterdam. Thank you for being here. Doug Kiso, slightly older generation than my own, but the little that I've gotten to know you, I send you my love and my gratitude and honor to be here with you, sir. Thank you for that. Robert Davis, of course, my brother from another mother, my virtual friend. Dearly, I love you. Thank you for all your work and dedication, making these scores work well. To the other coach from the other team, Charlie Nelson from UIC, always working hard, several jobs, multitasking, and figuring out the buttons that I keep throwing at him to push. So thank you for that, Charlie, for all your time and energy there, and congratulations to everyone. John Lucas, my brother in coaching and in digital video work, congratulations to you and to us for making this thing work visually for the audiences at home. I really appreciate your help, with whom I can, but I don't want to do this. So thank you for that. Our next event for GymACT is going to be the competition between Southern California and Owls on March 20th. So tune in for that. But every week there is college gymnastics happening on many platforms. So tune in, support, do what you got to do, stay involved, share with your friends, and donate if you can, because we're all working hard to make this thing work for you and for ourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Peace, love, and aloha. Be well. Take care of one another. Goodbye.